What's up, Mets fans, and welcome back to another edition of Mets Pregame Live and Mets Pregame Live and Mets versus Angels Game 3 of the series and the rubber match of the Mets versus Angels. How is everybody doing today on this Sunday night? And we actually have a game where the Mets are playing that is not 10 o'clock at night, so everybody should be thrilled about that. Unfortunately, yesterday, the Mets got clobbered. Yesterday, it was a fun time in LA. I know the 7-Line Army was there. I got hundreds of pictures from friends that were there in LA yesterday. Mets lost 11-6. It wasn't a pretty sight. Carrasco did not have it yesterday. But when it comes down to it, guys, the Mets win today. They go 5-5 on the West Coast trip, which most people, probably about 98% of Met fans, would have took a 5-5 road trip going into the West Coast trip. And that's what I said in the beginning of the West Coast trip on Mets Talk Live about 13 days ago. I said you would take a 5-5 West Coast trip, and even if it worst case scenario, it would have been 4-6. The Mets can't be worse than 4-6, can't be better than 5-5. Granted, after winning the two last games in the Dodgers series and taking the first game of the Padres series and going 3-0 in that span, they lost the last two games of the Padres. They won the first game against the Angels in decent, pretty good fashion. But when it comes down to it, guys, if the Mets win today, and even if they lose today, the point of the matter is that the point of the homestand before the West Coast trip was they needed to go 4-2, 5-1, 6-0. They went 6-0. They give us the cushion that we needed, knowing that the Braves were going to catch up somewhat. And you have to remember, guys, the Braves had to go 11 games, had to go on an 11-game winning streak, and the Mets to play 500 ball on the West Coast trip just to get it cut in half. So when everybody's like, oh, the Braves are coming, well, the Braves ain't going to win 20 in a row. All right, they're going to lose eventually. They're playing the worst teams in the National League. They should be winning. Just like when the Mets are playing the bad teams, they should be winning as well. So the Braves are doing what they're supposed to do against bad teams. The Mets are doing what they're supposed to be doing against good teams. Why are the Braves doing well right now? Well, because they're 100% healthy now for the most part. Besides Soroka, they're mostly healthy. But considering the fact that the Braves had to go on an 11-game winning streak just to gain 5 games on the Mets is something that nobody probably would have expected. But at the end of the day, they're beating the teams that are bad just the way the Mets are supposed to be beating teams that are bad, and they have been doing that. And everybody tends to forget that the Los Angeles Angels aren't a bad team. They had a bad stretch. And they can hit with the best of you when you got Trout, Ohtani, Rendon. And guess what? Trout and Rendon came back during the Mets series. So when you got those three guys, and look who did damage yesterday, it was Rendon, it was Ohtani, it was Trout. Walsh had a cycle. If anybody thought that the Mets were going to win this division by 10 games, you were terribly mistaken. You know, the whole point of a big lead is to give yourself a cushion for a stretch. And can you call this a bad stretch? No. If the Mets go 500 the rest of the year, they'll win 90 games. If they go 500, they win 90 games. All they have to do is go 4 or 5 games over 500 throughout the year, and they win 94, 95 games. And at the end of the day, as of right now, it's a 5-game lead in the division. The Phillies finally show that they're actually human again, and they go back to their defensive woes that basically cost them the game early on. If you saw that defensive mishap by Real Muto with the catcher, they got beat up today against Arizona. So at the end of the day, at the beginning of the year, I said the Braves were going to win the division. Now, I didn't expect the Mets to be this good this soon. And it's not about the fact that, and what people seem to forget, the Mets have the second best record in baseball, not just the National League, in baseball, even with a possible 5-5 or 4-6 West Coast trip. And let's be honest, nobody's going through a 14-game stretch on the West Coast trip out of the division. There's very much separated. If you saw what the Braves had earlier, they had the Dodgers and the Giants early, but that was only a 7-game trip. The Mets, unfortunately, have a 13-game trip because it just so happens that when they were facing the Dodgers, when they were facing the Padres, they also had to face an American League West team as well. So when it comes down to it, look at the fact that the Mets have been playing good teams and they have faced better teams over the last 15 days that actually put them back on a track where they still could have went. They still are possible of going one game under 500 or exactly over 500. So I'm not concerned. The only concern that I do have is that the 4 games that they lost, or at least the 3 games that let's see it this way. 4, 5. The 5 games that they lost, 4 of them have been blowouts. But the good thing about this team is that, one, they still haven't lost 3 in a row. And if you go through that math and haven't lost 3 in a row yet, and they still found a way during this West Coast trip to not lose 3 in a row when they could have easily lost 3 in a row rather quickly. The Mets aren't playing bad. Are they playing exactly what we expected them to do on this West Coast trip? Probably not. It would have been nice if, it's hard for a team when your pitcher gives up 5 or 6 runs to a good team in the first 2 or 3 innings and then add on to catch up on a team. The Mets scored 6 runs yesterday. Yes, most of them came in the 9th, but they scored 6 runs yesterday, guys. And there you go. And Yolfies, it doesn't matter if you're watching 20 years of baseball. That has nothing to do with it. You could be watching it for 2 years and realize that pitching is the key to everything. But could we not go to the fact that it's the bullpen that's been the problem? The starting pitching in the game that they got blown out have been about the starting pitching. It hasn't been about the bullpen. Now, the bullpen is not great. We all know that. But let's be honest. It's not like the Mets were winning 6-5 and then the bullpen gave up 5 runs in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. They didn't do that. It's the starters that haven't had good starts. You saw the Taijuan Walker the other day against the Padres. Carrasco last night. You saw what happened to certain pitchers that shouldn't even be in this rotation, but because of our injuries, this is the reason why what's happening. And if it wasn't for the Yankees or the Mets bad starting pitching, it would be fine. But if anybody thought that the Mets are going to just roll a 10-game lead throughout the entire season, you're not making any sense, and you're not paying attention to. And if people talk about 20 years of baseball of experience, then you should know better and realize that no team is going to keep a 10-game lead throughout the entire year. You're going to have stretches like the Braves have and let's be honest, this is probably a bad time for the Braves to have 11, maybe possibly 12, 13-game winning streak, because last year their winning streak didn't come until late July into August when the Mets finally lost the division to the Braves during that time. So their 11-game, possible 12, 13-game winning streak means that they gained 5.5 games. That's all it means. And just 11 games is excellent, but they won 11 games in a row after they had a terrible April, May, and almost first part of June. And that's fine. But at the end, when it comes down to it, the Mets had a big lead that also helped them not have a stretch where they needed to go 7-3 on the road trip. They didn't have to. And we said that. And we talked about that. If anybody thought that we were just putting our rose-colored glasses on and not paying attention, if you're an actual baseball fan and you know how baseball is throughout a 162-game season, you know that the Braves weren't going to, or whoever was, the Phillies, the Braves, whoever was going to go on a roll, and both teams were. And if you look at the standings, let me just check really quick. Oh, wait, the Phillies are still 8 games out. The Braves are 5 games out. The Mets win today is back to 5.5. What the Mets did in a 14-game stretch is lose. Now remember, it's a 13 games in 14 days, right? It was 12 games out of 14 on the West Coast trip. They played that many games and lost 5.5 games. It could have been a lot worse. But eventually, 3-7, they're not going 3-7. It can only be 4-6. 4-6 or 5-5. They can't go 3-7. That's impossible. They already played 9 games. So the point that I'm trying to make is the fact that if anybody thought that the Mets were going to have a 10-game lead throughout the entire year, you're either not a baseball fan, you don't understand baseball, or you're just naive to the fact that that's usually impossible in all sports. And if you look at the other teams that you're looking at, especially we'll look at one team in particular, and I like bringing them up because they are the best team in baseball when it comes to the fact that of their record, and that's the New York Yankees, right? We're going to check this really quick, right? So, and I want to check that really quick. So, as good as the Yankees have been, right? They've been 9-1 in their last 10 games. Can't say anything about that. That's been excellent, right? Okay, fine. During that 10-game stretch, the Toronto Blue Jays and the Tampa Bay Rays were 6.5 games behind the Yankees before the 10-game stretch. They gained 2 games in that 10-game stretch. So what does that tell you? That means as good as the Yankees have been, the Blue Jays in that 10-game stretch and the Rays in a 10-game stretch went 6-4. So they played a little better than 500. But yet the Yankees played 8 games over 500 that 10-game stretch, but only gained 2.5 games. So my point is that if you go at 500, and then the Braves had to go on 11-game winning streak just to gain 5.5 games, that eventually will burn out. They'll eventually lose the game, just like the Phillies got clobbered today against the Arizona team that I can guarantee you, if you talk to Philly fans before that game, they were winning that game and getting their 10th win. That's okay. That's why it was so important to build that lead before the West Coast trip. You got to remember, before the homestand, they only had a 5.5 game lead going into their homestand before the West Coast trip. They went 6-0. They got to the West Coast trip 10.5 games up. So I don't understand the fact that people are going crazy. As much as the Mets had a 5.5 game swing with the increase in the division before the West Coast trip, the same thing happened. They just lost the 5.5 games on the West Coast trip. And the Braves had to play out of their mind just to get back to cut the division lead in half. So it's not the point of the Braves are coming. The difference is the fact that a last year's Mets team or 2 years ago Mets team would have lost probably 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 on the West Coast trip. And then we would have been talking about issues. But you saw what I can't believe there's people, and it's probably not a lot of Mets fans. It's fans that are not fans of the Mets, and that's okay. I expect Braves fans, I expect Yankee fans, I expect fans of another team that don't like the Mets saying, uh-oh, here we go again, when it's not here you go again. Until the Mets lose 3 in a row, I'm not concerned. Because if they lose 2 in a row and then win a game, lose 2 in a row and win a game, the Braves still going to have to continue to win. Again and again and again. They have to go on long extended winning streaks like this just to catch us completely. And when you're not playing each other, all you have to do is win the ball game. You win a ball game, it doesn't matter what the Braves do because you knock another game off the schedule. We've talked about this over and over and over again when it came to the Mets and the division lead. You go on a 10-game stretch like the Mets have done. If they go 5-5 and 4-6, they're not going to be no worse than 4.5 games going back home to a Brewers team that's been struggling and a Marlins team that is a pain in the ass. But if you haven't noticed, they have been having problems in the clubhouse with Chaz Chisholm, and nobody likes them. And that doesn't mean that the Mets are just going to roll over them. No. But the Mets have played extremely well at home this year, and there's no reason why that's not going to continue. The Mets are getting healthier. Marte is in the lineup tonight. We got Alonso back the last couple of nights. McGill came back in the Padres series. So, in the Angels series. So, we're getting healthier. We weathered the storm that everybody thought we were just going to go 0-10 in the June swoon. Here we come. When at the end of the day, we have a 500 record. If I'm not mistaken, I believe we have, if we're not exactly on the 500 record mark, we're at the 500 record mark in June. If I'm not mistaken, let me just double check really quick. I believe that's the case. Let's see. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so in the 10 games that we've played so far in June, we're at 500. Everybody was talking about the Mets need to go 500 in June. Unless the Braves are going to win 25 in a row and the Mets go at 500, or if they win 20 in a row and the Mets go at 500, then they just catch the Mets. So they got to win 20 in a row and the Mets got to go 500 over the next 10 games to catch the Mets. And that's only to tie them, not to go ahead of them. So that's fine. And the Phillies are coming back there. Finally, their defense and their bullpen is going to show up again. And it will, because they're bad. And the Mets didn't run out of gas last year. The Mets had injuries last year. When you lose your star pitcher in DeGrom at the All-Star break, and you don't have Bassett, you don't have Scherzer. Shoot, you didn't even have this type of McGill. You didn't have Carrasco. Well, you're not going to win. And that is the reason why the Braves took over a division when they played well. And it still took the Braves until August to get past the Mets. And that was with all the Mets injuries. And DeGrom is not leading. And listen, Yelfies likes to troll people, and he is not a Met fan, and that's okay. When it comes down to it, the Braves had to go 11-0 over the 11-game stretch, and the Mets had to go either 500 or one game under 500. The Mets had bad managers. The Mets made terrible decisions when it came to couldn't diagnose a DeGrom injury, and that was the other when it came to the GM who was lying about his diagnosis. But everybody forgets the fact that DeGrom was the only part of this pitching staff that was left in this rotation. There was no Scherzer. There was no Bassett. There was no Carrasco. You had Stroman, who, let's be honest, he was good last year, but he was never the ace that was going to pick up the slack. Other than that, you had nobody. And it's not about the pressure, because everybody was saying if the Mets go over 500 or be at 500, that's a good West Coast trip. The Braves had to play out of their mind to cut the lead in half. That's fine. And I'm okay with that. At the end of the day, the Mets still have a 5.5 game lead. And if the Mets sustained a 5.5 game lead, that's fine as well. But nobody should expect to be a 10-game lead throughout the entire year. That's just stupid. And you're not a real baseball fan if you don't know how baseball works. So, all right, guys. So we got about 10 minutes until game time. So I'm going to go through everybody, say what up to everybody. I am looking at the comments, so that's why I'm just saying the comments just like that. I'm just looking at it and just responding to it really quick, not just bringing it up one by one, because it's only a half-hour pregame. And I just want to get to everybody and say what's up. So here we go, guys. Joey, Sonny, Yo Alfies, Connor, Joe, Ruben, a member of Talking Mets at Rob, Joey, a member of Talking Mets at Rob, Grant, a member of Talking Mets at Rob, Ruben, a member. Oh, I said that already. Sorry. Joseph, a member of Talking Mets at Rob. It's Joseph's birthday. Happy birthday, Joseph. What else we got here? We got Thomas. We got Adventures. We got Ken. We got JC. We got Jimmy. Victor. Steven. Inebriated. Excuse me. Andrew. Emilio. What else we got in here? Travis. What's up, buddy? Moose. We got ATL. We got New York Committee. We also got, what else we got here? I know I saw somebody else. Matthew. Just going down the list, guys. Give me a second. Almost done. Swishy, how you doing? Connor, I think I said. What up, Connor? And there we go, guys. So that's all it is. Well, I don't know why everybody's talking about DeGrom and going to another team. The Mets have exclusive rights when the season is over to the 10-game exclusive rights to sign him. The Mets ain't letting him go anywhere. So, and let's be honest, as cheap as the Yankees have been, and the Yankees are entirely lucky on how they did not spend any money. And again, that's why Cashman is great. It's not Cashman's fault that they're not spending money. It's the owner's fault that he wasn't spending money. And let's be honest, the same guy like Yolfis, and other guys, Yankee fans that were bitching and moaning before the season started about Cashman should lose his job, Boone should be fired, and Cashman's a freaking genius. That's why he gets paid what he does, because he gets guys like Trevino, kind of Falefa, and stuff like that. So DeGrom ain't going anywhere. And, this ain't the Wilpon Mets, if everybody tends to forget that. But that's okay. At the end of the day, the Yankee fans seem to still worry about Met fans or the way the Mets play or what the Mets are doing, when they should be worrying about their division, where as good as they played, they gained 2.5 games in 10 games, just like the Mets lost 5.5 games over 10 games in the division. So let's get the facts straight. Until one person says one thing about, the Braves are hot. Oh, the Mets are choking. They're not choking. And I don't know why a 500 record in the West Coast trip is choking. It's not. And what's even more funnier is that as much as everybody's talking about, Yoffi's like, DeGrom is coming to the Yankees. Worry about signing Judge before you worry about another player, because at the end of the day, wait until this arbitration hearing comes and the Yankees don't want to pay him $21 million and going to tell him how bad he is to keep it at $17 million. Piss off Judge so he can go to the Giants, which he will go to the Giants, because the Giants are going to pay every penny that he wants to come back home. And the Yankees aren't going to match it because, they're broke all of a sudden, because they got to pay their best pitcher in baseball. Oh, wait, no, he's not. Cole. So there we go. All right, guys. So we got about 10 minutes until game time. But he's not leaving. You said the Yankees. And he's not leaving. I don't know why you think he's leaving. There's no reason why he would leave when the Mets are going to pay him. I don't understand that. Well, that's one thing I agree with. I always thought Acuna was better than Soto. Soto, he wants to get the hell out of Washington. There's no doubt about that. And I agree. I think, look, Soto is great, but Acuna is on a different level. When he's on his game, and, he had to get healthy. That's one thing for sure. We know that. And Acuna is healthy. And I don't think, look, if you look at my preseason division winners, I didn't have the Mets winning the division. I didn't think the Mets were going to be this good so soon, 17 games over 500. I mean, I said they were going to win, I believe, 90 games or 92 games, and the Braves won 94. The Braves have to play. Now, right now, I think they have 30, if I'm not mistaken. I just want to check really quick. Excuse me. The Braves have 34 wins. So if they go 500 in the next 100 games, right, that's 84 wins. So if they go 500, that's 84 wins. They have to play a few games, if not 10 games over 500 to get over 90 wins, when the Mets only have to go 500 to get over 90 wins. So if the Mets play 2 or 3 games over 500, they're already at the 93, 94, 92, 93, 94 win total, when the Braves have to play 10 to 15 games over 500 just to get to where the Mets could be if they go 500. And let's be honest, the Braves and the Mets are going to be playing a lot of bad teams going forward the rest of the year. The Mets haven't played the Marlins yet. The Marlins could be annoying, yes, because the Marlins seem to always try to beat the NL East. They always do. So it's going to come down to the fact, how much more can you beat up the bad teams? Like the Braves are doing that now. The Mets are doing that early on. The Mets still got teams that the Braves already faced. The Pirates they got to face. There's a lot of teams that are bad that the Mets are going to face. And the best part about Acuna is the fact that if he stays healthy, and look, nobody wants to see an injury. There's no doubt about that. But Acuna, I think, is one of the best, if not the best player in baseball. But I think it's still going to come down to the fact when I honestly think the reason why the Braves are playing so well right now is because they finally got healthy. Soroka is going to be back probably sometime in July or August. So for the most part, they're extremely healthy now. And that's the reason, they got healthy just at the right time when they're facing really bad teams. And that's great. That's what you're supposed to do. That's good teams. They're supposed to do that. But what happens when they lose 5 in a row and things are not going the way they want to? That's the biggest problem because they don't have that leader that Freeman was. And I keep on going back to that because I still think that's a major issue going forward. And Albies is really good. Acuna is excellent. But are they actual leaders of a team? Matt Olson just got there, so I don't expect him to be a leader. Swanson's a good player, but he's not a leader. Riley's a good player. They got a lot of really good players, but there's no leader on that team. Now, that doesn't mean they can't win a division. Absolutely, they can. I expect the fact that, look, if you don't respect the Braves, you're moronic. And you should expect the Braves to make a run at this division because, well, you got to give the respect to the defending champions. But the defending champions are the same team that doesn't have the main players who actually won the World Series and got them to a World Series and played so well. And that is Soler. That was Freeman, right? They do have Rosario, but do you really expect Rosario to have a year like he had last year when he came to the Braves? Probably not. The one guy who wasn't there that was on this team for a couple of years now was Acuna. The Braves won a World Series without Acuna, and there is no mistake about it. And I said this last time. The Braves won without Acuna. So what does that tell you about Acuna? That means that he's not the greatest clubhouse guy. He is not the leader that everybody thinks he is. And just because he's great doesn't mean that he's going to become this big leader that a guy like Freddie Freeman is. And Acuna was hurt. So that just tells you that guys that they brought in, and that's why you give more credit to the front office for getting the right guys in. It's exactly why the Braves won. The Braves didn't win because of Ozzie Albies. The Braves didn't win because of Swanson. They won because of Soler. They won because of Freeman. They won because of Rosario. They won because their pitching figured it out in the playoffs. So there we go. So let me go through the lineup really quickly, guys. Before the game starts, it's coming up just now. Just give me 1 second. There we go. So the pitching matchup today is Taijuan Walker versus Patrick Sandoval, who's been pretty good this year. Another lefty the Mets are facing. The Mets lineup today is Nimmo leading off, playing center field. Marte right field, batting second. Lindor third, playing shortstop. Alonso first base, cleaning up. Kana batting fifth. Left field, Escobar batting sixth. Third base, J.D. Davis DH and batting seventh. Jeff McNeil batting eighth, playing second base, and Tomas Nido catching, batting ninth. So that is your lineup for today's Mets versus Angels season, or tonight, excuse me, and the rubber match of today. Let's see if the Mets can go into ending this West Coast trip on a 5-5 record, which I think everybody would take. All right, guys, so here we go. The game is about to start. It is an ESPN game, so you're going to get the ESPN broadcast. Enjoy, I guess. McCann should be back in the next couple of weeks. I think he's going to come back around the same time Scherzer has because they had the same weeks that they were supposed to come back. It was around 6 weeks or so. I think Scherzer might be back before McCann, but McCann should be back probably the first 2 weeks of July. And it seems like Scherzer might be back before July, if not the first week in July. And I expect DeGrom to come back middle of July. So, because I don't think they want to rush DeGrom at all, which they shouldn't, because at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, guys, the Mets, are playing well. And I think everybody tends to forget, and these are the non-Met fans who like to bash the Mets which it's funny because the Mets have played injured all year. They didn't have their best pitcher in the rotation starting the year. And they only had Scherzer for 8 starts and McGill for 7 starts. And they lost 3/5 of their rotation. and they still have the second best record in baseball and the best record in the National League. So everybody's bashing the Mets, and here comes the June swoon, and the Mets are worried. The Mets, why? I don't understand that. The Mets don't have their three best pitchers. They finally got McGill back, or their two best pitchers, and that was with Bassett not pitching well over the last 5 weeks. So give a little credit for the Mets for who have not have their best two starting pitchers, aces, Cy Young Award winners in their rotation, and still getting the job done. And my prediction for tonight, I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a decent scoring game. I think the Mets are going to pull it out 5-4. Again, they got it. When you got Rendon, Trout, and Ohtani in the lineup, it's not easy to get through that lineup. So we'll see what Taijuan Walker can do through this entire year, or at least for the last couple of starts. Taijuan Walker, when he has a bad outing, comes back out and has a good outing. It's been bad outing, good outing for Taijuan Walker throughout the entire year. Well, he had a bad outing against the Padres. Now, today, he faces the Angels after a bad start. So we'll see what we're getting from him. Again, give me a couple of runs, 5-6 innings. I'll take that from Taijuan Walker. Again, the Mets have been scoring runs in this series. They've scored runs. It's not the problem. They scored 6 runs yesterday. They scored 7 runs in the opener of the series. So when you score 6 runs, you should win a ball game. So, nobody did the job yesterday, and Carrasco didn't do the job yesterday. And when a team is hot, like the Angels were last night, everybody was hitting. So you score 6 or 7 runs like they did in the first 2 games, you're probably going to win. And I'm not worried about the Mets going 4-6 or 5-5. Even if they lose tonight, I am not worried, because it's a 4-6, which, let's be honest, most of us would have took going forward into the West Coast trip. 4-6, 5-5 is the median where you wanted to at least try to be, because when the West Coast trip started 13 days ago or 14 days ago, the Angels were still 9 games over 500 at that time, and they were playing well before their 15 game losing streak. The Padres were doing well, even though their offense finally kicked in when they faced the Mets, and the Dodgers were one of the best teams in baseball. So going through that stretch and still having a possible 4-6 or 5-5 record I think is a win, when this is the longest West Coast trip of the year, and we're done with the long West Coast trips this season. We do go back at the West Coast trip. We play Oakland and all that in September, but it's not a long West Coast trip like it is. Like, remember, in the first 2 months, 2.5 months of the season, or 2.25 months of the season, the Mets went to the West Coast twice already played 7 games with the Giants, and who else did they play? I forgot who else they played. And the Rockies. And then they had to go back not even a month later, 3 weeks later, to play a 13-game stretch in 12-game stretch in 14 days. So over 20 games they had to play on the West Coast trip in the first 2 months. Yet they took care of business. They did what they had to do, go 500 on West Coast trips. That's it. So, all right, guys, the game is going to start in about 4 minutes. I just want to make sure everybody's going to be able to hear the game tonight. Excuse me. So, once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button and get this stream out to more people. It's important to hit on that like button, guys. You guys have been doing great with that like button, and you guys held it down on Friday when I was at work, and you guys were in the live stream hanging out. And I want to give a shout out to Grant, who was basically the main. I replayed the chat, and Grant was the main focus and telling people why I wasn't here, and I appreciate that. And for everybody else who checked in and took control over the chat, I really do appreciate it. Maybe I'll do more like that when I can't do it while I'm at work. It seemed like it was a lot of fun with you guys. I mean, it got over 7,000 views, so it had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with you. That's why you guys are so important to me and the channel, and I want you to appreciate that. Want you to know that I appreciate that. So about 3 minutes until game time, guys. It's an ESPN broadcast. So no Gary, Keith, and Ron. You're gonna get ESPN broadcast, so we'll probably complain about it as always. But Joe and the lockout, as always. Yes, Christian, exactly. I'm taking the trip to Oakland. Well, technically, I'm staying in San Francisco and going to the games in Oakland because I don't want to stay in Oakland because there's nothing to do there. So, yes, the Mets go at the end of the year to Oakland, and that's the West Coast trip. And they got the two long West Coast trips out of the way in the first 3 months of the season. So, I'm happy with that. The Mets only play one more time. Every other game they play one more series that is a 10 o'clock start, and that's the Oakland. Everything else is around 8 o'clock. So they're mostly in the Eastern time zone the rest of the year when almost everybody in their division still has to go to another West Coast trip in July, August, and September. So that's when you're going to see who's the real deal in that division as well. You know, as good as the Phillies did on the West Coast trip, they were still ended up 11 and a half games behind when the Mets got on their West Coast trip. And they gained a couple of games as well. So I expect the division to be fun. I didn't expect them to be on a 10-game lead the entire year. So let's not worry about that. Let's worry about the game in hand today because the only thing that the Mets can control is the game they play today or the game they play tomorrow. So what is the prediction for today? And I said it earlier. I'll say it again before the game starts. Mets win 5-4. Taijuan Walker, 5 innings, 3 runs. I think that's what his line's going to be today. I think the Mets are going to score a couple of runs today. They showed they can score runs throughout the series, 7 runs and 6 runs. Those amount of runs should win you every ball game. Obviously, if you don't pitch well, then, well, things happen. So, Mets versus Angels, Game 3, rubber match of the series. Can the New York Mets go out of the West Coast trip, finally coming back home 5-5 at 500, and still maintain a 5.5 game lead going home facing the Brewers and the Marlins? We will see. Here we go, guys. The Angels took the field in Anaheim, California on a beautiful 79-degree day in California. What else is new? Southern California, beautiful. So, and that's a beautiful stadium. I wish I could have went there. Unfortunately, I chose snowy Colorado. All right, guys, so let's go Mets. Going to change over to MLB Game Day and the call. So let me just put up everything I need to put up, and we'll be ready to go, guys. All right, so I'm going to put up the volume. Let me know if you guys can hear it, and you guys know the drill. I'll see you in each half inning. Just let me know if you guys can hear it. You know, Joe, just let me know in the comments.
Well, one thing he has done exceptionally well and maybe due for a little regression, but he's not giving up any long balls this year. He's kept the ball in the ballpark very well, and he's got an excellent changeup. Look at his K rate, his base on balls rate, kind of about league average, but he's high in the count. He gets good spin on his slider and his curveball, and that changeup is for real. It's one of the best changeups in the game going this year.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. All right, guys, so let's go Mets. Let's see if the Mets can start it out early. Again, they are facing Patrick Sandoval, who's pitched well this year and is a lefty. So the Mets, again, struggles with lefties, but I expect them to hit him because they scored runs in this series. So I expect that again. All right, guys, so once again, hit on that like button. Nimmo coming to the plate. Let's get more likes. Let's get to 150 likes tonight, guys, and get this stream out to more Mets fans, more baseball fans. Here we go. Game 3, Mets versus Angels, rubber game. Nimmo coming to the plate. Let's go Mets. Here we go, guys.
That's where it gets difficult for hitters to be able to make adjustments here in this ballpark.
Sun is blazing, flags high above right center field, blowing out towards center. As Brandon Nimmo, center fielder, gets set to step in the box, and we are set for the first pitch.
All right, here we go, guys. First pitch.
On Sunday.
Sandoval doesn't throw very hard. He throws around 92 to 94, so the Mets can turn on those pitches.
Nimmo is having a terrific year. Speedster, they will not shift dramatically against him. Shortstop Velasquez, who was a Yankee last
Nimmo
year.
hits a shot to right center. It looks like it's going to stay. Oh, what a catch by Lagar. Almost a home run. Almost. hitting the wall, but a nice catch by the center fielder.
And that's a really good observation there.
With the sun in his eyes. So a good first at bat by Nimmo. Just missed a home run. Another 5 feet that probably would have either hit the top of the wall or went over.
That's a home run. So the wall is, he's predicting where it's going to be. Catches it.
Remember, it only has to go over the yellow line. Doesn't have to go over the scoreboard. So that was a nice catch by the center fielder.
That it nearly got away from him. What a play by Tyler Wade. Ian Lagar's in center and right. Brandon Marsh is in.
All right, so the first at bat was pretty good. Just a nice catch. Marte is back in the lineup, guys. To see if Marte should be healthy. He said he was healthy, so let's go, guys. Marte's a big piece in this lineup that we missed.
Factors to consider. Marte 277 on the season. Swing and a miss. That's a filthy changeup for Sandoval.
The sun, most likely the only position player in the outfield that it would affect is the right field. Two shadows where they are with any hitter.
It didn't look like either of them had a great read on it. Certainly not Lagares in right field.
Lagar is traditionally a center fielder. He's playing a very shallow.
And I don't know. Let me know in the comments, guys, how you feel about the City Connect jerseys for Angels. I like them. They're not too extreme. I like them. They're pretty decent. I don't like it overly being crazy like the Rockies or the Diamondbacks ones. There's a few bad ones. But these ones are, they're sleek. I like them.
Trout is the DH tonight. Next one to Marte on the way. That one is high. Count evens up 2 balls and 2 strikes. Around the infield, Anthony Rendon has been banged up lately. He's back in the lineup.
Oh, if taxes weren't worse than New York and LA or in California, I would move there. But, all right, so Marte struck out on the high fastball, 2 outs. Ken, I agree, actually. Actually, the ESPN broadcast hasn't been as bad since they changed it up this year. It's been pretty decent. It's not great, but it's better than the ES broadcast, for sure. I mean, they can't even get a boot together. And Michael K is not good. I mean, but I do feel bad for Michael K considering they give him Beltran and Maben as analysts. But, what can you do? All right, guys. See if Lindor can get it started with 2 outs and bring Alonso to the plate. He hit a home run yesterday. Right into the 7-line group in left field yesterday. Yeah, Marte's going to look rusty. He hasn't played in, 4 games? Haven't seen live bad pitching, so I'm not surprised. He'll get it going, though.
Alonso on deck. Brandon Marsh, left field, playing very shallow against the door. Played off of Francisco.
The biggest difference in the sun field today is in the stands. The fans down the left field line are all bathed in the shade down the right field line. Well, that's where you're baking over here.
So with seats still available, if you're on the right field side,
I think we should trade Marte.
I think so. Yes, you bring your
terrible at bat.
You're going air conditioning on the third.
Well, that's the ESPN microphones that put it right. They have like 3 microphones just around the whole plate area, so you're gonna hear the umpire more loudly than the freaking the announcers. And also, the problem with the ESPN microphones all over the stadium, they have so many of them that when it gets loud, you can't hear the announcers. So it's kind of annoying. All right, Frankie, let's go. 11 pitches so far for Sandoval. Even though it's 79 degrees, a lot of the guys are sweating. It's very hot out there. All right, Lindor made it the full count.
He's the first, by the way, Angels pitcher to not allow a home run in his first 9 games to start a season.
Hopefully ESPN just jinxed him about now giving up a home run in 9 starts so far.
Any era.
3-2. Lindor, look out. Ouch. I think that
Lindor's foul ball almost nailed Joey Cora.
It's a souvenir for a fan, but that was a rocket. 105 off the bat, guys.
He won't rub it, though.
Oh, it did hit him. Oh, put his hand in front of it.
one of those that just keeps attacking. But you cannot get out of the way of that.
You have to bring your glove over there with it. You just back
up 30 yards.
All right, Lindor's put a nice at bat together here. Another foul ball. Fouled it right back.
2 it stays.
Again, 14 pitches so far. With he only had 7 pitches through the first 2 batters. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he already had 7 pitches, 8 pitches already so far. So nice at bat by Lindor, even if he doesn't do anything here. All right, nice walk by Lindor to bring up Alonso.
Lindor is aboard, and that brings up Pete Alonso.
Lindor took that like he knew it was coming, right? I mean, he's locked in right now.
Well, that's one thing that Bud Showalter said.
Well, I have a good friend, Kevin, if he's watching. What's up, Kevin? He's in LA. He lives in Orange County, so around the Angel area, ballpark area. So he moved out there a couple of years ago from New York, and he loves it.
Whatever he said, he cracked up Jared Wallace and some clap down there at first base.
But taxes are just insane. So. All right, here we go. Pete Alonso has been hot this year, all year. Been clutch as well. Can he get that 2-out RBI that the Mets have done so well with this year? Come on, Pete.
Total bases, hit by pitches, intentional walks. He's done it all.
He wants to go.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about cold weather. You just have to worry about blackouts and taxes. And the homeless tents that are all over the city, which is crazy. Oof, Alonso missed that one, fouled that ball back. Again, Sandoval is not going to overpower you. So the Mets can catch up to his fastball, no problem. Oh, Justin, I appreciate it. New subscriber, shout out to Justin. Upstate New York. Let's go, Mets.
Lindor would score easily on contact. Have to play deep, keep that runner from scoring.
One of the strengths
0-2 pitch to Pete Alonso.
They're not the fastest team, but they are as good at taking the extra base as any team in baseball. Next one to Alonso, that is foul.
Little out in front of that pitch. And Forest Fires, yes.
Great point, Carl. You talk about base running. The team that leads the
Alonso was on that pitch just out in front, hit it hard.
Get on base. You know what to do once you get on the bases.
I thought you were saying a great point was the meeting club with their third base.
That too.
It's sneaky. It's not a stat that most look at as anything significant, but they got 14 triples, which is really all about base running. You're ultimately making that decision.
Well, he's going to have that home run derby chance in LA where he hits well in Dodger Stadium this year.
They're terrific with 2 outs as well.
All right, Alonso fouling it off. Working to count quick 2 outs, and then Alonso and Lindor so far has been working that pitch count. Going to be the 20th pitch coming up already in the first inning. So that's a good start for the Mets. Even if they don't score, they work the pitching. The pitchers, especially the starters, and that's what we want.
Team that doesn't strike out a lot. Team that gets on base.
Come on, Pete.
All those factor in.
Just underway, Lindor off first. And another 0-2 on the way for Polar Bear, Pete Alonso. Jammed and he may have shattered his back.
All right, looks like
high throw, but it's
high throw, but he got out of the inning. So at the very least, the Mets didn't score, but they made Sandoval throw 20 pitches in the first inning. So not too bad. Of course, you would like a run there, but after the first 2 batters get out quickly, the next best thing besides a 2-out rally and a 2-out run is working the pitch count. The guy got him to 20 pitches in the first inning. Tao and Walker coming to the mound, going to the bottom of the first, no score. So once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. I'll be with you throughout the entire game today. And if you like, who is it? I'm sorry, Justin, who is a new subscriber. If you're a new subscriber to the channel, what we do here on Talking Mets, or what I do here on Talking Mets here, Rob, is we put up game day on the screen so you can follow the game, follow the runners, follow the pitch count, the batting lineups, and all that stuff. And also you get either the radio call or the TV call, depending on which one we actually want to listen to. Because, ESPN is not terrible anymore. I left the ESPN broadcast on, so you get that. And also you get the in-game between in and out, my opinions of what happened that inning. And whatever you guys want to talk about in the chat. Again, it's like a minute or two before the game starts again. So that's what we do, what I do here on Talking Mets and Rob. Once again, if you want to become a member of Talking Mets and Rob, check out the memberships that are available. You get free giveaways. You get possible Mets tickets, even if you're not in New York. If you're in a state where the Mets are going, you can win tickets to a Mets game, home or on the road. Also, you're going to be getting member Q&As that I'm going to be starting next week. I'm sorry, not next week, the following week, the middle of June, giving the members opportunity to just talk about the Mets, give me feedback on what could be better about the channel and all that other stuff. So we are going to the bottom of the first, no score, Taijuan Walker on the mound for the Mets. So once again, guys, hit on that like button. Thank you for the new subscribers. You got to be a new subscriber to be in the stream right now. So all the new subscribers, I see Justin saying what's up in the chat. So appreciate it. Hopefully you guys keep on coming back for more. And let's see if Taijuan Walker can get it done. Remember, Trout, Rendon, Ohtani's not in the lineup today, so that should help. But then, you got Walsh. So it's a tough lineup in the top four. But we see what the Mets can do. Let's hope Taijuan Walker has a good start. Here we go, guys. No score, bottom of the first. Taijuan Walker on the mound.
The contact this year, you see that base on ball rate very good, but the strikeout rate very low compared to the average.
First one to Brandon Marsh. That is just outside, ball 192. Yeah, like the Mets are kind of a contradiction to everything about baseball. They don't hit a lot of homers, and yet they've had amongst the best record in baseball. And in Walker's case, he doesn't strike a lot of guys out.
He doesn't. His splitter has become his best secondary pitch, which is kind of right in line with his pitch-to-contact kind of style nowadays. Get the ball on the ground if he can.
Nice pitch.
That's in there at the top of the zone. First strike. Couple of games in baseball tonight. Sunday night countdown was updating. It just gone final. The Giants beat the Dodgers 2-0. Rockies take care of San Diego 4-2, and Alex Cora and company beat the Mariners by a final score of 2-0. So this is the only one going on right now in baseball. No NBA tonight. Focus, and what a good night it is to watch Mike Trout, Pete Alonso. The Angels and Nets square off.
I ain't gonna lie, I know I said this already, but the City Connect jersey for the Angels, I really like them. I just don't know why. All right, that's a shot. See if they can stop him from going to second base. Ooh. All right, so that's a double. Close play. The ball missed by Lindor. Looked like he was going to get a double anyway. So that's a quick double for a leadoff double for the Angels.
The knowledge of as soon as contact is made, I'm going to here. Even with no outs, leadoff hitter set the tone early. Ball gets way over Pete Alonso, but the ability to get to it. We've got him there. Marte with a strong arm. In between Hopkins and Moore, no chance to be
Possibility he might have got him on a close play if Lindor caught the ball, but I doubt it. So leadoff double for Marsh. Nice player.
Walker left one up in the zone. Marsh hit 106 miles an hour.
And that looks like a run. That was quick. Well, that's not a good start for Taijuan Walker. Of course, he wouldn't Trout wait until he faces the Mets to get hot and get healthy. Again, this has been the problem with the Mets. If the starters start to give up runs early, it's hard to come back in a ball game when you can't keep on giving up runs so early in a ball game. That was a problem with Carrasco yesterday. That was a problem with Taijuan Walker in the Padres series. A problem with almost every pitcher in the series. Taijuan Walker's got to bear down here. Yeah, at least you got the Rangers that decided to give up a go-ahead goal with 20 seconds after they just scored the tying goal. Jesus. All right, so Rendon is up 1-0 Angels. Again, one thing I noticed with Taiwan Walker, he is not throwing as hard as he usually does. 93 miles an hour. Now the gun could be the radar gun could be a little slow, but he's usually in 95 miles an hour. So that's a little worrisome. But he's got to get it done. All right, this could be a double play ball, and it is. There we go. All right, there we go. That is a nice double play. That was a quick at bat too. So 8 pitches in Taiwan Walker. Again, give up 1 run in the first. A little bit of trouble. Got a nice double play ball here. McNeil took it himself. So a 4-4-3 double play.
Now, a very talented Jared Walsh. It's so easy on this team to get overshadowed. You have Otani, you have Trout, Rendon got that huge deal. Jared Walsh quietly has become a very important part of the Angels. First baseman for the cycle last night. He looks for one that's in there for a called strike.
Yeah, I like the OPS plus stat because it sort of factors in where you play.
The problem with that is that the Angels never make the playoffs, so it's pointless what Trout does or Otani. Oh. Again, the shift. I cannot stand the shift. If that's a ground ball to the shortstop, if they're playing regular depth. And we got a new member of Talking Mets and Rob. Michael, I appreciate it, buddy. You've been in the stream, in the chat for a while. I do appreciate it, buddy. So shout out to Michael for being a new member of Talking Mets and Rob. Join the club. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, look, that's a ground ball right to the shortstop. Lindor could have backhanded and, got the out. It was hit hard, so it would have been an easy out.
Next up, Matt Duffy.
I still don't believe that the shift takes more outs than it takes away. I think there's so many hits that go through the shift that I just don't believe it. Last 2 starts for Walker, 0-2, 4.63. First 7, 3-0, 2.83. So there's the difference right there with Walker right now. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
When you pitch to contact, and we noted that Taiwan Walker's strikeout rate is way down. It's really plummeted as well as
ESPN keeps on talking about Taiwan Walker's strikeout rate, but that didn't work for him in the second half of last year. He struck out a lot of guys. I like him as a contact hitter. He's not a strikeout guy anymore. He's just not, especially with that split finger. I'm not too. The strikeout rate is a little.
Fans hand. He lost a souvenir because he didn't have a glove. That's it. You gotta have a glove. Have a mitt.
That play has to be made.
We got a lot.
I agree, Ken. I think the shift gives up more hits than it takes away. It'll take that hard hit in the short right field away or left field, but it takes away too much. Oh, where was that pitch?
Missed off the outside.
Oh, maybe I will stream the draft. We'll see.
Just to clarify, Carl, if you don't know what the BABIP gods are, that's what.
So only 13 pitches so far for Taiwan Walker, so they've been getting to him early.
You know about the BABIP gods. That's the batting average on balls in play. We like when it's a high.
Come on, Taiwan. Keep it to 1 run. All right, that was a decent slider.
That's if that movie, instead of using Jobu, they used BABIP, but they were just so far ahead of the curve.
So the draft is Sunday. It starts. So I'll do the first round. I'll do Sunday. I'll do the first round of the draft since the Mets are picking twice in the first 15 picks. Come on, Taiwan.
Single. Quick double play and another single. Duffy,
and the shift.
Walsh will stop at second, but another hit.
And there we go again. Ground ball to second base. Nobody there. I never understood why they shift right-handed batters. Left-handed batters, I get. But shifting left-handed batters, right-handed batters makes no sense to me. Look at that. Right to the second baseman. I don't get it. I never understood shifting on right-handers. A lot of the times more right-handers go the other way than left-handers. Left-handers are the known pull hitters. I just don't get it. I think they should always play straight up against right-handed batters. It just makes no sense to me. So first and second, 2 outs, 15 pitches so for Taijuan Walker, 1-0 Angels, while Lagares at the plate.
Sixth hitter at the top of the first. Right field heading towards the line. So is Marte. He won't get there, and it's foul by about 8 feet.
Real deal. Thank you. 73%. Yes, MF fans will be happy with a 5-5 West Coast trip.
Because your strikeout rate's way down. So are you concerned about that? Is that not something you're too worried about? Thinking of what?
I think you're trying to figure it out. The one thing I've noticed with this four-seamer and the movement profile on this four-seamer is there's less riding action. What we call vertical movement. It's sort of taking a seat this year. He's got more horizontal movement on his four-seamer, which is the kind of movement you don't really want on a four-seam fastball. You want it more on a two-seamer.
Look out.
Oh. Yeah, Walker's a little off this inning. His breaking pitches are not breaking.
When you start throwing new pitches, a cutter more or a splitter more, it can impact your release point a little bit. It looks like on his
it looks like he's a little out in front of his pitches.
His movement has really changed. There's less riding action. Therefore, less swing and miss.
It'd be nice if ESPN. There we go. I was waiting for the count. They didn't put up the count.
Pressure on the defense.
18 pitches for Taijuan Walker.
So. Alonso on the infield for the Mets. Mark Canha in left. Nimmo in center. Marte in right. Nito behind the plate.
Again, all of his breaking pitches have been hangers over the plate. So I don't really like that. And he's not located in his fastball.
As much as they should, and 16% on
I don't know if it's the heat. I mean, it's only 79 degrees there. It's warm there, but I mean, he's not sweating profusely, but I wonder if it's just he's just not feeling it right now. He don't have a good feel for his pitches.
2-2, trying to keep it at 1. This ball is center on the line.
All right, I think it should be an out. All right, we got to have the inning with just 1 run. Not pretty, but at the end, a couple of hits. Most of the hitters hit the ball hard, but he still got out of it with just 1 run. Hopefully he figures it out. I don't know if it's just – I don't know what it is actually, but hopefully he's not injured. Didn't look like he was injured, but you know what? As bad as he pitched in the first, he gave up 1 run. So not a good start for Walker, but could have been a lot worse. We got a big double play early on in the inning, so that helped him out a little bit. And Lagares just hit a rocket to center field that was right at Nimmo. So a couple of hard hit balls, still only gave up 1 run. So again, the last 2 starts, Walker has not been good. First 7 was very good. So, I don't know what it is with Taijuan Walker. I don't know what it is, but I do think that, they were talking about Taijuan Walker's strikeout rate. I know that's, a sexy stat, so to speak, and that's why ESPN is talking about it. It's not really something that I really worry about because what no strikeouts do is keep your pitch count down. I mean, in this case, it didn't keep Walker's pitch count down. He threw 20 pitches, but it usually does. And it usually keeps your pitch count down. And it has been over the last, since the beginning of the year, the pitch counts has been down for the Mets for the most part because they've been pitching more to contact. And when you got a very good defense, as the Mets do, you make your defense work. So I'm not too worried about it. I think you have to pitch to contact every now and then and get the big strikeout when needed. When 7 batters come to the plate, your pitch count's going to be up if you're not striking anybody out. And he didn't. So going to the top of the second, 1-0 Angels. Again, could have been a lot worse for Walker, but still got out of it with just 1 run. Tomas, I appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, I'm not worried about the Braves. If the Mets take care of business, the Braves can't catch us. That's the way it is. Frankie, remember talking about Rob. What up, buddy? So waiting for the second inning to come, top of the order. Mark Canha is leading off. And again, I think the Mets can get to Sandoval. He doesn't throw that hard. You just got to get to him early in the count. I don't know why Ohtani's not playing, but it benefits the Mets. But don't be surprised if he comes up in a big spot if the game is close. Here we go, guys. Top of the second. Mets trail 1-0.
This must do wonders for pitching. We have one guy who's not getting a lot of those against another that is.
Comes in handy when you have men in scoring position here.
Arcana first up in the second inning. He's getting ahead of everybody. First pitch breaking.
And that's why Sandoval's been good this year. He gets ahead in the count. But even still, getting ahead in the count in the first inning, he threw 20 pitches. So
3 of the 4 times it has been the first pitch to get back to right-handed hitters.
They do shift against Canada.
that was a nasty pitch.
85-mile-an-hour slider down near the dirt to get ahead 0-2.
That's the equalizer. That's the pitch that he started developing last few years, getting more confidence with it.
0-2 to Cano, which is his most comfortable count for some reason.
There you go. No, says our first base umpire.
Let's go. Start it off.
Canada signed a 2-year, $26.5 million deal with an option for a third year. West Coast kid, he grew up in San Jose, went to college at Cal with Marcus Semien.
Definitely fits the profile and the personality side that Bob Showalter talks about.
This one off the mound, so a tricky hop, but Matt Duffy backs up on it.
That was an interesting at-bat. The ball hit the mound and took a weird bounce, but Duffy took care of it, 1 out.
What do you got?
Yeah, at the end of that half inning, Phil Nevin walked all the way to the end of the Angels dugout, looked at it. Joey Cora was like, "You okay? How you doing?" Cora showed off the bruise that he has on his wrist, and what he explained to Nevin was that he just simply couldn't move. Yeah, Carl, like you said, the ball just tracked him.
It was tracing at him. Of course, Nevin, longtime base coach before we got the call to be the manager. And we'll get into the whole manager change here in Anaheim, Los Angeles without Joe Madden. It took a lot of folks, including Madden and Nevin, by surprise. We're in the midst of a 14-game losing streak, but you were 27-17 at one point, and the players are not performing. Mike Trout's in a dreadful slump. Otani's not doing well. Rendon's out with an injury. 1-1. This one's going to the seats.
There's no way to confirm this, but you know, Carl, baseball's always been a copycat sport. In the minute, Joe Girardi got fired in Philly, and the Phillies won a couple of games. But all of a sudden, it makes you feel like, I wonder if that had any bearing at all as to why Joe Madden was fired, or maybe they were in the middle of their own losing streak. They're trying to catch lightning in a bottle, trying to change up something, shake it loose. And Phil Nevin was just a man on the spot, and he had no inkling it was coming.
1-2, strikeout there.
Well, so far, Sandoval has gotten the Mets pitchers. Again, Mets hitters. Again, the Mets with left-handed pitchers has just been absolutely atrocious. I just don't get it. You know, it's not like we don't have a lot of right-handed batters. We do. It's crazy to me how bad they've been against left-handers. Listen, if you're a team facing the Mets and you got left-handers and you can set up your rotation for a series, I would pitch every left-hander I have because they just don't hit them for some reason.
J.D. Davis next up. And that ball is
All right, so J.D. Davis is first nice at-bat that we've seen so far for the Mets.
From Sandoval on the first pitch.
Gives the Mets the first hit of the ball game.
Handle. First strike.
Again, Davis has been hot.
That base hit, soft contact though, just with that curveball. Velasquez needed a couple more inches.
It's generally a great formula for pitchers to get early strikes, first pitch strikes, to drop curveballs in there.
All right. Once again, the Mets got him running on base with 2 outs. Jeff McNeil coming up, batting 8 tonight.
Number of messages, phone calls, and Phil Nevin.
Again, I think this is a good matchup for Jeff McNeil. Doesn't throw exceptionally hard. He's a guy that slaps the ball the other way. See what he can do here.
Pregame. So touched by the outpouring of support.
There we go. Told you. First and second, 2 outs.
Jeff McNeil hit machine delivers.
I called it.
And he's just
Hey, James, what's up?
but he's in the lineup against the lefty. After one pitch,
And then Tomas Nido has been very good with runners in scoring position this year with 2 outs. So
right
Again,
here.
exactly what I said, McNeil.
That's
It's a
one
good
thing McNeil loves to do. He's been in that
matchup
box
against
to take
Sandoval
pitches.
because he hits the ball the other way.
Towards left field.
See if Nito can get in J.D. Davis here with 2 outs. Nito has been pretty clutch this year with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Batting over 300.
They go back-to-back first pitch hits with 2 down.
And they're waking up the Mets fan base that's out here a bit.
And there's a lot of them.
Come on, Tomas.
First base side where the Mets dugout is. Nito, the 9-hitter, with 2 men aboard.
Nito's a guy who likes to go first pitch.
He's swinging the first one.
Told you.
Yeah,
He's the guy that likes to swing at the first pitch. Come on, Tomas. Again, J.D. Davis is not a fast runner, but he got decent speed. Be an interesting play at the plate for sure if it's a hard hit ground base hit to the outfield.
Again with 2 outs.
All right, looks like it's going to end the inning here. And it does. All right, so the Mets didn't score in that inning with a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Mets still trail 1-0 going to the bottom of the second. We need Taijuan Walker to be better. Again, can't always get the RBI with the 2 outs, but again, the Mets have scored runs in this series, so I expect them to do that again. James, it's funny how everybody says the Angels suck. You know, before their losing streak, they were 11 games over 500. Like, they're not a team that you just take lightly. They just had a terrible stretch. And, half that time was without Trout. They didn't have Rendon for that entire stretch until the Mets series. So they've had a lot of injuries. And I think people forget about that they forget the fact that the Angels were playing extremely well before that stretch. And they still they didn't have Rendon. Trout was out. They only had Ohtani in that lineup, basically. When you take out the best player in baseball and then you take out Rendon, who was another big bat in that lineup, well, you're not going to really have, a lot of offense. And, it wasn't the problem. Some days they weren't pitching well. Some days the offense going to score. Now, yes, history-wise, the Angels suck. But they were a team that, were fighting for that West Division with the Astros the first couple of months. They just had a bad stretch, but that doesn't mean they're not good. Like, you've seen what that team can do when Trout, Ohtani, Walsh, and Rendon are in that lineup. Dude, it's the Angels, exactly, but it's not the same exact team as in years past. They did get a little bit better pitching. They signed a couple of people. They just had a bad stretch. Like, it happens, not 15 in a row. But they're a team that has they were the best, one of the best offensive in the league before that 14-game stretch. And they still were scoring runs during that stretch. Not as much, but they were. Look, through May 24th, 27-17, offense, 748 OPS. In the last the 14-game losing streak, 595 OPS, over almost a 6 ERA. That's the difference. Mike Trout, Ohtani, Ward, Rendon missed 12 games out of that 14. Ward batted 167. Nobody pitched well, so and hit well. All right, guys. So bottom of the second, 1-0 Angels.
Yeah, but one of the pieces that's no longer here, of course, is Joe Matt. Again, the bottom of the second with Kurt Suzuki, Tyler Wade, and with Velasquez.
James, don't tell nobody I'm nice because, according to a lot of people, I'm a negative Nancy.
He said the effort is still there. You got a team not playing well. He said 2 weeks ago, after losing 6 in a row, I don't look at things in 6-game blocks. 6 games later, 6 losses later, he apparently did. Because
all right, Taijuan Walker, 3 pitches, 3 strikes. It's 1 out. Yeah, Noah skipped his start because he's a scared-ass little boy.
He's not blaming Joe, but Joe's gone. What do you make of that?
Joe's so widely respected. Joe Madden's been in the game for so long, World Series manager, champion, longtime coach here, big history with Anaheim and the Angels.
Look, Syndergaard didn't want
Once again, you're trying to catch lightning
to have the possibility of pitching bad and getting all that backlash from Met fans. He just didn't want it. All right, a bunt and a foul ball.
And to add on to that, look, if you look at that clubhouse, yes, Mike Trout's the best player in baseball.
You know, the stupid thing about Syndergaard is that, you know, he's talking about the Mets so much in bad light. You know, he's going to be a free agent after this year. Wouldn't you want a big market team in RU, money-wise, to help you with a contract?
Look, he's the one that has to rattle the guys.
Nah, it wasn't because they knew the Mets against lefties were bad. Syndergaard was the one that wanted the extra day. They're going through a 6-man rotation, so he's getting the rest. He just didn't want to pitch against the Mets. Don't give the Angels too much credit there, especially knowing Syndergaard credit.
But as the lockout ended, Joe Madden told reporters about this before they actually talked to Trout.
Yeah, Walker had a tough first inning, but he got out of it with just one run, so you give him credit there. And his pitches look a little bit more sharper in the second. That split finger looks a little bit tighter, a little bit late movement, so that's good to see.
That surprised a lot of folks
With the bases loaded, with them behind in the game.
when they were behind. They ultimately won that game, but it certainly led a lot of people, including, I remember, the shot of Mike Trout in center field. Wait, did we just do
Nice, there we go. Walker with that split finger, getting it going. 2 strikeouts. That's what we like to see.
Yeah, getting that split finger going here, getting in a position to use that split finger. See, this has been his best pitch this year. You can see the fade down.
Again, when he has that located in that split finger, it's very hard to hit.
88 miles an hour.
The other side of the Madden coin, too, before we end the inning, on analytics, I was
28
surprised that
pitches,
he came
two
out and said there's
outs,
too much
two in the first 2 innings, not
that have
terrible.
never done it before are taking the place of those that have. The information is good. It's just the way it's being presented. Feels like modern day baseball.
All right, he's locating his pitches now a little bit better. Keeping that fastball a little letter high and that split finger
Yeah, it's not.
moving east to west and north to south. That's what you like to see with that pitch.
Both ends of it. Especially with decision makers, you know, they understand the value that advanced analytics.
Well,
have.
the reason why LaRusse is still managing because the GM and the owners love him for some reason. Let's walk Turner on 2 strikes. Oh, man, stupid manager.
Ironically, that guy, Phil Nevin, is more of an old school culture change.
There we go. 3 strikeouts in the inning. Now that's the way you want to see Walker. So ESPN talked about the strikeouts. He had 3 strikeouts in that inning, 1, 2, 3, with just 30 pitches in 2 innings, going to the top of the third. Mets trail 1-0. Again, guys, it looked like Taijuan Walker just didn't have a feel for his pitches. He found it in this inning. So if he pitches like that, again, it was the bottom of the order, so let's not get crazy. But he did what he had to do, right? Got out of the inning quick, get that offense back on with the top of the lineup coming up with Nimmo leading off the 3rd inning. So, look, I'm not too worried. Too many people are so concerned about strikeouts. I like that you don't strike out too many batters because it keeps your pitch count low and it keeps your defense on their feet. When you need the strikeouts is in big spots. You know, when you got runners on, when you might need a strikeout there in that situation. You know, I like strikeouts in big spots. I don't need 12 strikeouts in a game because that's just at the very least you're going to throw about 60 pitches by just striking out 60, 70 pitches just by throwing strikeouts, not including all the balls you're throwing as well. So, you know, he can be done in 5 innings and have 100 pitches because he struck out 12 guys. I don't like to see that. You know, there's no need. You have a really good defense behind you. Let the batters make the out. Don't try to force the issue. And I think that was a lot of times what the Mets did wrong last year was their philosophy of pitching, their philosophy of offensively was just wrong. Like everything was about strikeouts last year with this rotation, and I think it hurt a lot of pitchers. And I don't care that his velocity is down. If you locate your fastball and you have good movement on your breaking ball, you can be a good pitcher in the league. There's no, you gotta remember, guys, Taijuan Walker is your number 5 starter if everybody's healthy. So when your number 5 starter gives you 5 innings, 3 runs, you take that and run with it. I think people forget that because you don't see DeGrom or Scherzer or McGill until the first game in the Angels series. Taijuan Walker is basically a number 3. So I don't understand why people are going crazy with Walker. He's the pitcher. He is a pitcher. What he is. He's supposed to be your number 5 starter. So that's the way you got to look at it. All right, guys. Top of the third, 1-0 Angels. Top of the order for the Mets. Nimmo leading off.
Doing something like that during the lockout?
Why not? Yeah. You can't go crazy.
Brandon Nimmo just missed a home run in the first inning. See if he can get a good at bat together again.
Swing and a miss by Brandon Nimmo. Sarah Lang's just helping us behind the scenes tonight. Reports that's the first time this season that Walker has struck out 3 in an inning.
And this should drop, and that's a base hit. There we go. That's a leadoff base hit. Nimmo starting to figure out offensively again after he came back from that injury. Off the end of the bat, right over the shortstop's head into short center field. Let's see if Marte can get it together. Had a bad first at bat.
That's sort of the classic case right there. If you're a pitcher, you're kind of feeling sorry for yourself. You made a decent pitch and soft contact.
Jeez, even in subscriber mode, this damn point thing comes up. It's amazing to me.
Found the outfield grass.
Starting Marte struck out.
All right, Starling, let's go.
Nimmo, terrific speed at first. And stolen bases here. First pitch to Marte. Fastball in there for strike 1. Just put a bow on the whole Matt thing. Do you think he gets another job as a manager? Did he come back?
It's hard to say. I mean, you sense that, as he said, the game's moving in a different direction. And I understand his sentiment there. I mean, there's a lot of lifetime baseball people, lifers, that have been pushed away.
Oh, yeah, that was hit hard. Oh, he misjudged that. Go, go, go. That's a triple for Marte. Nimmo's going to score. Yes, tie game. There we go. Yes. There we go. That was a shot. Tie game. Ward misjudged that ball. I don't think he was going to get to that anyway. That was hit hard hit ball by Marte. Beautiful.
This ball scolded right at him, and he takes first step in.
Woo.
That's the biggest mistake.
Let's go.
You cannot take 1, let alone 2 and 3.
Ward misjudged that, but I don't think he might have got to that ball, but misjudged it. Right over his head. Nimmo scores from first. Marte gets a double. Tie game. There we go. Again, guys, the Mets are hitting them hard. When they get at the at-bats, they're hitting them hard. All right, Frankie, let's go. Running scoring position, nobody out, tie game. This is where you got to get to this pitcher here. Struggling a little bit, 37 pitches. He's not getting that breaking ball over like he did in the first 2 innings. That's a big difference for Sandoval right now.
Yeah, that base running. Nimmo was off and flying when he saw that read, and Wade's back of the jersey instead of the front.
Nimmo, a great base running, creeping up second base. As soon as he sees the ball go over his head, easily score from first base. Beautiful. All right, Frankie, let's get it done here. At the very least, move the runner over.
Check swing, call, strike 2. Good shot of that Mets base running that you talked about. Our own Nimmo's an excellent base runner. Good speed.
Never kept his feet from not moving. Always short jab steps.
Huh. What you don't want here is a strikeout. Get him over.
Doors been slumping a little bit lately by the standards that he set, which were so high to start the season.
Oof, that's not what you wanted.
85-mile-an-hour changeup.
That was a nasty pitch, but not a good at bat by Lindor.
That's exactly what Sandoval has been doing all season long. Great arm action.
Yeah, I'm a little shocked that Marte was sitting,
Santana's
actually playing in this ball game.
fans know what I'm talking about.
But he has an off day tomorrow,
Turns
so
it over, out with the shadows.
he looked good running. So I think he's okay.
Difficult to be able to get a read on.
Sandal, I agree.
Changeup is selling.
But that was a nice couple of pitches against Lindor. But still 1 out, running in scoring position with Alonso up. Base it here, we'll score Marte.
Jammed his first time up, ground out to Rendon at third. First pitch, another one in there, and that was very similar to the first pitch that was called a ball to Lindor.
Yeah, so this umpire is very
0-1.
seems like he's guessing on the strikes because that was the same pitch he called the ball against Lindor. So
Hey, that's the job that Alonso's
all right,
doing.
Pete, let's go.
Close
Pete's
the
been
hole
clutch this year. We're
that
running
he
his
had
scoring
at
position
the
as
top
well.
of the zone. Swinging this rate at the top was about 35% in 2019. In 20, it was about 31%. And this year, it's 21%.
Tony, was that false hustle on your part? Were you really going to go after the ball that was coming in?
Almost on the ricochet once it bounced.
All right, 0-2 count to Pete Alonso. So both Lindor and Alonso have been a little aggressive in this at bat here.
Ricochet off and get all the way up here. Here or all the way
On concrete, on the stairs, landed on the stoop, as they say in New York.
You had it
But at
go
least
all the way
Alonso
up.
doesn't have to worry about the slider or any outside corner. But Alonso's just got to, get some contact here. He's been good this year with 2 strikes. Has not been a problem going the other way this year. That's the big difference with Alonso this year. Come on, Pete.
At 0-2, Marte off second, and the
Oof.
guy that's been hit already 7 times
Way
this
inside.
year is able to get out of the way of that one.
Try to throw a cutter in, way inside. Missed his right knee by like an inch.
That was the entire narrative about the Mets to start the season. How many
Seems like
times
he went hard inside. He's probably going to go soft
Baseball
outside here.
ball went to
And there he goes, outside corner.
Not intent, etc.
There it goes. Perfect pitching right there, strike 3. Thank you, Captain. That was
This is the east to west variety. Of how you
perfect
get it.
pitching right there.
North and south,
Hard
east
inside,
and
knew
west,
he was going to go soft outside.
front to back.
Nice change up outside, perfect location.
Knock him off the plate. Then turn it over and go soft.
Again, Alonso was thinking inside there. It's a perfect pitching right there.
Watch Pete Alonso's bottom half just open up big time. Trying to cheat in, and all of a sudden.
All right, so we got Canna come to the plate with 2 outs. Mets had a leadoff base hit by Nimmo, RBI double by Marte, and Lindor and Alonso struck out with a man on second base with nobody out and then 1 out. See if Canna can drive him in here. Canna's been another one that's been really clutch this year with 2 outs. Look, that was pitching school 101 there. Hard inside, soft outside. That's basically pitching 101 right there. Just good pitching there.
Batting average with runners in scoring position, but for the pitcher, it's strand rate.
45 pitches for Sandoval with 2 outs in the third.
Great pitchers are the ones that
Got his pitch count back on track.
really good low strand rate or high strand rates. Leave them out. Leave the runners out. There's something to that too. There's an art to it. Make it a little tougher. And you do push Alonso off the plate, and then go down in the way. You do snap off a little quicker slider that you got in your hip pocket.
All right, 0-2.
Just going back to the days I was growing up in Staten Island.
Tonight so far, 0-3 in runners in scoring position for the Mets.
Short off the stoop, try to get the ball to bounce over.
Yes, if you hit it right on the edge of the stairs, you really can shoot.
I love stoop ball. You used a little pink ball.
Yeah, anything you can get, tennis balls, anything that's bounced to it.
Thanks for doing that. Ground ball fair, Rendon. Long throw. Nice
All right, we didn't get it done there. Should have been a bigger inning, but the Mets do tie the game in the top of the third, 1-1. Going into the bottom of the third, top of the order for the Angels. So this is where Taijuan Walker has to get, it's nice to strike out 3 batters in the bottom of the order, but the top of the order is where they're going to kill you here. So it looked like Taijuan Walker had his pitches, located them well. He seemed like he found it. Let's see if he finds it against against Trout and Rendon and Walsh. We'll see going to the bottom of the third, but the Mets do tie the game. Offense looked like they were going to do a little bit more damage than they did, getting the guy on second with nobody out, with your big boys up, but they did not get it done. Lindor and Alonso struck out and ground ball from Canada to third base, ending the inning. But the Mets did tie the game, and now it's a whole new ball game yet again going to the bottom of the third. Let's see if Taijuan Walker can do what he did in the last inning against the top of the lineup. That's how you know Taijuan Walker is going to be back here. But again, I don't like the strikeouts too much, but it did show that he found his pitches in that inning. His split finger was just nasty. He was going east to west, north to south, locating his fastball. He has a running fastball. If he keeps the letter high, they're not going to touch him. But what he needs to do here is keep the Mets in the ball game. Again, I said 5 innings, 3 runs. It's already the third inning. He has a low pitch count. If he gets through a third inning pretty well, he can go 6 innings. But I did say before the game, 5 innings, 3 runs. I take that from Taijuan Walker. And everybody's got to remember, just because we got the injuries doesn't mean Taijuan Walker wasn't our 5th starter going into the season. Yes, we need him more since we don't have no DeGrom, Scherzer, and McGill for the last 4 to 5 weeks and the entire season with DeGrom. But Taijuan Walker is your 5th starter when everybody's healthy. So I think we have to look at that more than we have to look at Taijuan Walker being, a top 2 or 3 pitcher because of our injury. So here we go. They're showing some highlights with Mike Trout right now. Obviously one of the best players in baseball when healthy, but top of the order for the Angels. Let's see if Taijuan Walker can continue what he did in the second inning. Mets tied the game in the top of the half of the inning. So it's 1-1 going into the bottom of the third.
And getting ready as we start the bottom of the third inning. Leadoff hitter Brandon Marsh doubled his first time up in the first pitch. This is badly. Thanks again for doing this, Mike. We will not bother you once you get to the plate, but we know you've said you're really interested in this concept. You think it works?
I mean, it's good for the fan base, for the fans across the country, just to see, more feel what's going on.
Why are they talking to the players when he's on deck? That's so annoying.
Yeah, we'll take the DH because it tends to lead to a little, we get a little more insight. We wish you were in center field, too. We'll take this. This is great. Our swings and misses.
All right, you see Walker. His pitches are a little bit better right now, so
Hey, Mike,
keeping that fastball up.
The shadows.
I'm looking at it right now. Hey, you got to get a pitch to hit and you can't miss it. Let's see. Come on, Marshall.
Bad throw by McNeil. Damn it. That's an error. McNeil made a nice. If he would have made a nice throw, he would have been out. So that's not what you want to do when Trout's behind Marsh here. So not a good throw by McNeil. He rushed the throw since Marsh was running. So not a good throw by McNeil.
Turn the earpiece off so Mike Trout cannot hear anything that we're saying now.
Again, that was a nice pitch by Walker. Just didn't get the defense he needed there.
They gave Marsh a hit on that.
Wow. He got him out. Yeah, got him at first. Pick off. There we go. Walker with an excellent move to first base. Got Marsh picked off at first. That's what I'm talking about. There you go.
Very quick feet from Taijuan Walker here. An excellent
what a pick off.
Just throws
Woof.
no doubt about it.
There we go.
Just to make sure.
Walker has an excellent pickoff move. Marsh was in no man's land. All right, so that's what you want. You always want Trout up with nobody on. Oof. Nasty splitter. 0-2. There we go.
See how he threw the arm, the body.
Walker's looking like he got a little more confidence in those pitches now. Let him keep it going right now. Come on, Taiwan. All right, try to go high and up to Trout, but miss it on the outside corner.
Single RBI, first time up for Mike. Couple of home runs last night. 16 on the season, 34 runs batted in.
Woof! Just a bit high.
And he hit the ball.
He was trying to overthrow there. And, I mean, he just threw that ball 96 way high.
2-2 set up outside. That's where he goes. He misses
Right.
back at 3.
Trout made it 0-2 to 3-2 now. A couple of pitches not even close, so not really a good pitching sequence in the last 3 pitches for Taiwan here. Trying to make him fish, but not a good pitch.
I asked Pete Alonso before the game. I said, it's Judge, it's Stanton. The exit velocity, he's as strong as anybody. And yet his exit velocity.
Big Taiwan Walker got to go up and in here.
He said he's so quick to the ball.
But again, you want Trout up with nobody on. That's the most important thing. You got to challenge him here. And he got him. Yes. Nice pitch. Had Mike Trout chasing on a check swing with a slider on the outside corner and low. Nice pitch. Did not give in to Mike Trout there. Oh, yeah, definitely went. 2 outs.
Could have gone either way, but ends up getting the call. They did go. He was pushing the other way, saying, "Come on, let me on base."
There we go.
I have an earpiece. I got a microphone, but this is an opportunity for the fans.
So there's a strikeout for ESPN there. 4 strikeouts so far.
I don't know, guys.
It's early.
Hey, it's tough up there right now.
All right, 2 outs. Rendon up. Nobody on.
Yeah, so you battle back. It's
Tie
just
game.
that pitch that's
44
all the way to
pitches
the
for
backstop where
Walker, so he's in
plays that.
excellent
What's
shape
that like?
to go 6 innings in this ball game if he keeps this up.
Just can't miss your pitch. I had a pitch hit on that split.
Foul ball to the foul ball.
Yeah.
Right on it, yes.
Yeah. Wow. Hey, that's baseball.
Say one thing, you look fabulous in those City Connect unis.
Yeah, that's it.
Are they as popular as they look?
Yeah, that's it. I like it. They turned out really good. Really good.
Rendell in center field going back.
Oh, nice play by McNeil there. There you go. Getting the inning there. There we go. Nice play.
Looked like a promising inning. We'll have
Alrighty, guys. So going to the top of the 4th, tie game. Excellent play by Jeff McNeil after he made a throwing error. Can't kill McNeil. He's been good all year defensively, no matter where he plays. But he makes up for it for a nice catch going into short center field to end the inning. So here we are, guys. Top of the 4th. Mets tied the game in the 3rd. Got through it 1-2-3. Taiwan Walker looked like he found his pitches. 45 pitches after 3 innings. He's in great shape to go 6 innings in this ball game. So the Mets got to keep on scoring some runs here. Again, it should have been a bigger inning, the last inning for them. Man on second, nobody out. Big bats in the lineup. Coming up. What can you say? He just didn't get it done there. But Taiwan Walker looked like he's found it, and I think that Taiwan Walker can go 6 innings at this point. Going to the 4th with 45 pitches, it is an excellent recipe for a pitcher that can go 6 innings for us. And that would be huge for the Mets to get 6 innings. Like I said 5 innings, 3 runs. If he gives us 6 innings, 3 runs, I'll take that as well. All right, JD, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, Escobar is due up. It is Escobar, Davis, and McNeil coming up. All right, Frankie, have a good day, buddy. But, one thing for sure about this Angels lineup, they can get to you quickly. I know they struggled. They had that 14-game losing streak, but they were a team that was 11 games over 500. They were pitching better. They were not hidden as much. They showed 4 guys, Rendon, who was out 12 games. He had Trout, Ohtani, and Walsh that were all batting under 200 in that stretch. So they were struggling, and their pitching wasn't good. So that's a recipe for a losing streak. They just had a historic losing streak. Lane, I'll probably do Tuesday night. I'm definitely doing Monday. I was supposed to go to the game, but unfortunately I got to do some things, so I just can't make the game in time. But I'll probably do Monday and Tuesday. So get ready for a lot of me, guys. All right, guys, so go to the top of the foot. Tie ball game. Mets got Escobar, Davis, and McNeil.
Offering you a big chance on he fouled it back. And Eduardo Escobar leads off. Mike Trout joins us here.
Mets have been very aggressive so far. They're talking to Mike Trout. Let's listen.
Found the Mike Trout signed autograph card. You can see you remember that as well. It went viral, and then you invited them to come see you play. What do moments like that mean to you?
It means a lot. I mean, just got to put yourself in his position. Christmas present, open a pack of cards, and we got his favorite players. So I think just to give an opportunity, and it went viral on social media.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool. And I was seeing his family and just meeting them and taking pictures with them. It's made the kids day.
Was there a baseball card in a pack that you would open up and have that same reaction when you were a little guy?
Escobar with a bat at bat struck out. I'm telling you what's going on, because if you're not watching it, they're talking to Trout and they're not really saying what's happening in the ball game. So Escobar struck out on 3 pitches.
When he gets a little older and understands what's going on, have a little package for him and a little maybe like a gift for him.
That'd be cool. So will you give him one of yourself? Like, this was dad?
I'm collecting a lot of
the series against the Brewers are going to be tough. They've been struggling, but they're a team that can pitch well and can hit. It's just that if they get hot, we got to. Oh, Davis just hit a home run. Get out. Yeah. J.D. Davis with a home run. Telling you, that's my boy, J.D. Davis. I told you guys. That's my boy, J.D. Yeah. 2-1 Mets. Telling you guys, J.D. Davis is the bat for the DH spot. I'm telling you. Nobody believed me. First pitch, high fastball, and turned on that pitch. He was just hoping he'd get on top of that too much. 2-1 Mets. Woo. Quick bat.
First home run he's given up this season.
First home run he gave up this year to J.D. Davis. I would like credit for J.D. Davis. Thank you very much. Even though I destroyed Jeff McNeil and Edwin Diaz, but I'd like to get credit for J.D. Davis. All right, so 2-1 Mets. Again, go back to March when I said J.D. Davis should be the everyday DH. Telling you.
That was great, man. Just a whole new perspective on life. After the game, it doesn't matter you go 0 or 4 for 4. He's still just give you that smile and that big hug. And it's been great being a father.
Speaking of that video,
I don't know, Ken. I don't know, but yeah, you talked about J.D. Davis being a guy that should be the DH.
He's starting to play a lot of sports. He's starting to get it. He get off a tee, when I flip it to him. He's not swinging yet, but I'll get him there.
For people,
I don't feel bad for Trout.
He'll be 2.
He's living the LA life, $500 million. Yeah, he wants to win, but he didn't have to take that contract. He could have become a free agent and play for a contender. But he was loyal to the Angels, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, tell him.
And McNeil with a base hit. There we go, up the middle. 2 for 2 for Jeff McNeil.
Yeah, he knows. He knows if we don't win, he's not in it.
MB, I said that from the beginning of the road trip. 500 is exactly what I expected and I would take. Too many people just were like, oh, the Mets are falling apart. No. The Braves had to go on an 11-game winning streak just to split the lead in half. So it's not the Mets. It's not like the Mets were in a terrible losing streak and that's why the Braves came back. No. The Mets played exactly how I expected them to play on the West Coast trip. 500. So we got man on first, 1 out. Tomas Nido at the plate. So no double play here. We're going to get the top of the lineup coming back up in this inning.
Just happened to be bad. We have come from a baseball family.
And that's what the Mets did, Michael. The Mets stayed afloat. The Mets had to play average. That's all they had to do. Lane, I don't think you have to call up Dominic Smith. J.D. Davis is taking over the DH spot, as I predicted. I don't think Dominic Smith has a role in his team except for late defensive first base defense. That's it.
He's playing a lot of basketball. You know, there's a little hoop in the house. He comes down, he just...
And Nito just hit a double play. All right, guys. So Nito just hit into a double play, which we did not want. But J.D. Davis with the shot to left field home run to give the Mets a 2-1 lead going to the bottom of the fourth. And at the very least, the Mets get the top of the order coming back up in the top of the fifth. Yeah, Steve, I'm not too worried about it. Again, it's not like the Mets played bad in this West Coast trip. You know, they had 3 bad games that they got blown out in. Other than that, they played well. And, you know, again, I keep on saying it. The Braves had to go on an 11-game winning streak, and the Mets played 500 ball on the West Coast for them to have a sniff at the division, cutting the lead in half. But it's not like the Mets went 1-9 on the road trip, and the Braves played, 700 baseball. It took the Braves to have 11-game winning streak just to be sniffing the division a little bit, but that doesn't mean nothing. If the Mets take care of business, the Braves are never catching the Mets. The Mets are never catching them. The Braves are never catching the Mets, so I'm not worried about that. The Mets just have to do their job. That's it. And I honestly think the Mets did their job on the West Coast. Even if they lose this game, they still did their job on the West Coast and didn't have a terrible West Coast trip. Again, the Mets are coming home to a struggling Brewers team who are dangerous. They can pitch you out of the ballpark, no doubt about it. But they're struggling right now. The Mets are coming home after a 14-day West Coast trip. It's going to be a very nice day off for them tomorrow. They can travel, not worry about a game tomorrow. Come back healthy and rested, going into a Brewers and Marlins homestand, which I expect them to do good in. I'm not sure if we face Burns, Joe. Probably, but I could be wrong. Let me see. So, again, going to the bottom of the fourth, Mets lead 2-1 after a J.D. Davis home run. Let's see. So they pitch Hauser in game 1, Burns in game 2, and Ashby in game 3. And we have McGill in game 3. We have Peterson in game 2 against Burns. And we have Bassett against Hauser in game 1. All right, guys, so bottom of the fourth, Mets lead 2-1.
You put me at ease walking in here, and in front of the players will be around everybody. That call for me was the most important I think I made after this.
Again, Walker's found his pitches, guys.
Shohei Ohtani not in the lineup tonight. How come?
Yeah, this is something that we're going to have communication with as the year goes on. He came to me last night, and we kind of discussed, actually, like in the 8th or 9th inning last night, that tonight would be a good night. I know it's not good news for the ESPN family out there, but a healthy Shohei means we're going to be better later on. You guys will see him a lot.
Thanks, Phil. Back to you.
All right, Buster, thank you very much. Jared Walsh, Matt Duffy, Juan Lagares.
All right, so 1-2 count to Walsh.
And he fouls that off, finishing up with Mike.
Yeah,
Trout, continues to join us.
that Ranger loss sucked, guys. When we tied that game, I was like, all right, we played bad and we still tied up this game. And then not even 20 seconds later, Stamkos scores the second goal to give them the win. Oof.
It's not like we were coming here trying to lose. We got a great group.
All right, Taiwan Walker with another strikeout. Taiwan Walker has found his splitter, that's for sure.
We got a great group of guys. That's all that matters.
So here we go, guys. 2-1 Mets, bottom of the fourth. 51 pitches for Walker, 1 out in the fourth. Pitch count is very nice so far. Can give us 6 innings with the pitch count he has at the moment if he pitches this well. Look, that was the whole point of the homestand before the West Coast trip. we would have took 4-2. We would have took 5-1. The Mets went 6-0 to give us that big lead, to give us some room. And a jam shot is a base hit. So a nice pitch, just fought it off for a base hit.
Yeah, everybody on your team gets asked what it's like to play with Mike Trout. What's it like to play with Shohei Ohtani?
Nothing surprising with him. You've seen it on full display.
Steve, I will be coming to Oakland in September with the 7 line. Will be fun.
Take the lead and then it's special. A lot of baseball fans are, it's happy to see that. He's out there. Obviously, I heard Nevin's interview. Making sure he's out there every day and healthy. It's important.
Excuse me.
Now Juan Magaris squares the bunt. That's high, and a near throw down. Nito holds it. You once told Buster Olney that you have something in your pockets all the time.
Oh, it's going to be all game talking to Trout.
Do we have anything in there tonight?
They're barely talking about the game. So.
I can't grab nothing. It's just superstitious a little bit, as you guys probably know. I don't know where you heard that. I'll have to talk to Buster.
Nice pitch.
We'll send him over.
Now, A's fans exist. Look, if I was an A's fan, I wouldn't be going to the game either. The way the owners keep on breaking down that team, I wouldn't give them money either.
Talk to us about the weather, because you're in a place where the weather is pretty much consistent, but you love the weather.
Yeah, for sure. I like obviously the off season. Back east, Jersey, you get the season, so it's the winter's cold. And love snowstorms. Love especially traveling in the Midwest. Obviously, you see the thunderstorms. My dad got me into it when I was a kid, and I just I love it.
All right, another strikeout. Struck out Lagares. 2 outs.
When storms were coming, and we've had a great relationship over the years.
So that's like a fast text. When there's bad weather, he immediately reaches out to Mike Trout.
No, I'll shoot him a text. Hey, what's going on with the storm, man? I'll send him a text. Like, I'll see a storm that's like 2 weeks out. He's like,
yeah, Joe, you can say that about every team now.
But I get so excited.
But the A's been doing it since like the 70s. They get rid of their big guys. They always have.
What's the significance of the airplanes?
Underwater, game is going by fast. I like that. Helps me with work tomorrow. Unfortunately, I got to work because, as you guys know, the middle of the week I'm going to Vegas for 5 days. So you're going to get a couple of live streams in Vegas.
Mike, the Eagles opened up against the Jets. How are your Eagles going to be looking like this season?
They're looking good. Howie did a good job in the draft. Love what he did. They got a good team. Obviously, with Dallas being in the division and New York getting better.
Walker is hitting that outside corner with ease with that fastball now.
I'm picking them to win the Super Bowl. You know that.
Yeah, McGuire was gone. They got rid of all the time they get rid of players. Even during that was the Olsen era when he was the GM of the A's. Then the Billy Bean era where he always gets rid of players.
Owning a team? Yeah. Down the road, I'll be probably sick, after I'm done with baseball. I don't know. Definitely be interested.
Yeah, it's a very long. It's a little annoying.
You throw it out there just to see what I'll say. I know how it goes.
But yeah, that's a commissioner, is it?
No. That's a legendary fantasy football league right there.
So what makes it legendary for those of us that aren't in it?
Well, it's the talk of the town right
now. I don't think Walker will go 9 innings. He got 60 pitches in the fourth. Definitely can get through 6 if he gets out of this inning with Suzuki at the plate.
I'll tell you right now, probably getting another commissioner. No, there's definitely a waiting list now. Everybody's calling me, texting me, saying, "Hey, what's on this week?
How do I get in?"
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be. I think we got something brewing for next fantasy, next football season. We got something brewing.
Yeah, Steve, that's a great point. I'm probably thinking about that. What I did on Friday. I was at work and I went live, so you guys can listen to the game and talk amongst yourselves. I might do with Dad a lot more during the season as well, and definitely next year it's going to be crazy. So,
you guys are diehard fans, I'm myself included. Just love
But yeah, something I'll think about.
And we all compete.
Going forward, with a partner and stuff like that. I would never want somebody not to come on and not actually, get a little something, money wise for that. So, maybe I'll have guests on every now and then just to take over a stream or something like that, maybe. But it seemed like people liked the stream on Friday, even though I wasn't there, talking amongst themselves. I mean, I got over 7,000 views in that stream without me being there. And that was because of, everybody in the chat hanging out, talking and stuff. So I might do that a lot more. It really depends. But Suzuki's having a nice at-bat here. 63 pitches for Walker with 2 outs.
For sure. It's good for the guys, too.
Yeah, this is not a chat. This is like an interview that you should do before a
Were
game.
you once like a free ESPN League fantasy guy?
What's that?
Were you ever on the ESPN League?
I think that's what we ran.
Yeah, Steve, I got a lot of comments and a lot of emails from people that were in the stream, that people that weren't even chatting in the stream, they were just watching the stream. A lot of people were working, a lot of people were just laying down, listening to the stream. Didn't want to listen to Apple, so you were at work, I was at work. I chimed in the beginning, chimed in at the end because, I was working. So I had multiple microphones because I didn't want to have you guys hearing the forklift going through the entire stream.
Is that stuff focused on you get old? How do you handle that?
Yeah, it gets old. I want to get to the playoffs.
Yeah, I hope the A's go to Las Vegas so I can go to an outing, 7-line outing in Vegas, which would probably be the ultimate outing ever. Hanging out in the strip and then marching to wherever this Vegas stadium will be. All right, Tom, don't walk him. Let's go. Oh, just missed outside. Damn. All right, first and second, 2 outs. Still 65 pitches for Walker right now. So still a good pitch count. But that was a good pitch just on the outside corner. Just missed.
That's pretty cool stuff.
All right, so Tyler Wade is coming up with 2 outs, 2 men on. The favorite city I went with the 7-line was Pittsburgh. That was a legit party. Pre-game was fun, but after party, we took over McFadden's right across the street from PNC. Oh, man. Whew. That was a party afterwards.
One of my buddies, Brian Furman, was talking a lot of smack.
LA was pretty cool with the 7-line last year, but because of COVID, we couldn't gather as much as we wanted because they had a lot of restrictions in LA at the time. But LA was pretty cool. Washington is always fun, but Pittsburgh so far is my favorite.
I won't get it.
There's a little side bet.
Yeah, a little side.
Come on, Taiwan, let's go. There we go. Nice pitch.
Worse than the Lady Gaga outfit you had to wear in 2012.
Can they stop talking to Mike Trout?
Tory,
I like Mike Trout, but come on. I mean, you might as well give him a headset and put him in the booth. Jesus Christ.
That's a big baby I had to wear with the diaper. I had to wear that on the plane. 2.5-hour flight. You talk about being comfortable.
Steve, San Diego. It's possible. I mean, did you go to the 7-line Army out in San Diego?
You got to do that stuff.
Because I did go to San Diego in the 7-line Army, so it's possible. I mean, nobody knew who the heck I was at the time because I wasn't doing YouTube yet. But
that's how you learn.
Cool. But I'll definitely be in Oakland. Hopefully, I meet up with you there. We'll have a beer. All right, Taiwan. There we go. Strike 3. Thank God they're getting rid of Trout with this talk. So the Mets got out of that inning. Taiwan Walker did a good job. Near 69 pitches, I believe it was, that he finished with in his fourth. 68 pitches. So there you go, guys. 68 pitches for Taiwan Walker. So still in a good position to go 6 innings, and I would be excellent going 6 innings. I would definitely take that every day of the week. So the Mets lead 2-1 going to the top of the 5th. Top of the order coming up for the Mets, Nimmo leading off. Grant, yes, just wait till Houston, Rob, and you come. Listen, I tried to figure out, because when the Mets are in Houston, I'm flying home on the 21st when they play Houston. I was looking at the flights from Vegas to Houston just to pop up for one game head to your bar, Grant, but it's kind of impossible with work. And I tried it, and I mean, just a one-way ticket from Vegas to Houston is like $400, and that's insane. I mean, shoot, I'll sleep on the floor. I don't give a damn where I sleep. But the flight's a little pricey, so I was gonna go, but then I was like, you know what? I was gonna call out from work the day after vacation that I come back, but I was like, you know what? Let me not piss off my boss a little bit, because I still need, I need a little bit of time. If the Mets make the playoffs, I need a couple of days off here. So, because I am traveling in the playoffs when the Mets play in the playoffs. But Grant, don't worry. Even if it's not a Mets game, I'm trying to head to Houston this year. If I do, I will hit you up. I'll support your bar and all that stuff. Maybe I'll even do a live stream at a bar. Like a Mets Talk Live or something like that. That would be pretty cool. But for sure, I'll definitely look. I'll hit you up when I know I'm going to Houston for sure. And next year, because the league, you're going to play everybody. The Mets probably will play in Houston again next year. So I'll definitely look into that trip for sure. Yo, Steve, I talked about that to Darren when I was in Colorado with the 7 line. I told Darren, I was like, yo, you got to work out a jet or something. NetJet's it's expensive. But I think people will actually pay the extra couple $100 per person to take a flight there and back, like round trip wise. All right, guys, so the Mets lead 2-1. Hey, look, they're talking to Buck Showalter. Let's listen.
What you have for him as he takes over that job?
Oh, just be yourself. He'll figure it out. He's following a good manager, Joe Madden.
Absolutely, Grant.
Just be receptive. Create an environment where everybody feels they bring what they bring.
Thank you, Keith. I appreciate it. Hit on that like button, guys. Mets lead 2-1. Top of the 5th. Taiwan Walker pitching well. Let's go.
You guys started the day 17th in the major leagues in home runs, but number 1 in runs scored. How would you describe your attack?
Just trying to be ourselves.
Oh, Nimmo just hit a leadoff. Oh, just foul. It would have been a home run if it went fair. Not that ESPN would tell you.
But also make sure you're giving everybody credit. And they pass it around. That they realize that there are some of the parts that all clubs are.
But thanks. Going back to you.
All right, so Nimmo just missed a home run, just went foul.
Thank you very much. Brandon Nimmo just hit a ball down the right field line.
So hold on 1 second. They think it might have hit the foul pole and bounced away. So Buck Showalter's talking to the umpire right now.
It's like Nimmo's heading back to the plate. Buck Showalter, who's told us he believes he's got the best replay guy in the major leagues.
All right, so they're checking it.
Obviously, there's something that was said to Buck and relayed to Buck.
So it's possible that it might have hit the bottom of the foul pole.
New York is requesting a crew chief review of potential home run.
You know what, guys? It's a home run. It hit the foul pole on the bottom and ricocheted foul. So I think it's a home run. It looked like it hits off the pole and it ricocheted right. So it's going to be a home run.
Smart move from Buck Showalter to not waste a challenge and get the crew to do a crew chief challenge.
Yep, it's a home run. It hit the foul pole and bounced foul. I don't know what ESPN is looking at, but it hit the foul pole.
Why do we have the umpires down the right field line?
After review, call on the field is confirmed. Foul ball.
Really?
When you think about Jerry Neal's first base umpire who was on the dirt,
foul ball.
He's the one making that call. In the postseason, you got guys, even though they're 30, 40 feet behind the umpire.
So it didn't ricochet. He didn't lose the challenge because it was a crew chief review. So Nimmo just missed a homer by a couple of feet.
Mike Petriello provides us all sorts of great information before the game starts.
It looked like it hit the pole. And it bounced.
This is one of the easier ballparks. It's a 19% above average for home run hitters.
And I think it was who said it? Hold on. Yeah, Michael, I do get a lot of days off, but I ask for them well in advance. I usually plan out my schedule, especially for road trips. During the, I keep all my vacation for the Mets for the baseball season. So all my vacation I keep for the baseball season, knowing, I don't take vacation during November all the way until February, until the end of February or middle of February. I go to spring training every year. So come on, Brandon.
And you would know.
Nimmo hits a ball foul.
towards the seats, and it's going to get it.
So, yeah, that's what I usually do. Save my vacation. I'll take no vacation from the end of October or after the baseball season all the way until the middle of February. And I take all my vacations from
end of February,
all the way until the end of September, sometimes October. So, yeah.
Let it go.
All right, Brandon's having a good at-bat here.
Hey, see that?
See if he can straighten that ball out and get a home run here.
People who were in the outfield, did you go and get that ball too?
All right, ball 3, full count.
Hey, look, the Angels were, if I'm not mistaken, in the midst of a 10-game losing streak that just got called up. And we're trying to get fans back in seats. They did take away a lot of this used to be for the Rams as well. The stadium.
3-2 to Nimmo, swing and a miss.
That was a nice pitch, striking out Nimmo there.
Patrick Sandoval on the other side. Tyler Walker's got 7.
Yeah, split fingers and shadows work well together on Taiwan Walker's side. He's got the head.
Yeah, well, at least he had a good at-bat. That was a terrible swing on that pitch. I don't think he was expecting a slider there, but he got it. All right, so Marte's up and 1 out.
Did Charlie Sheen buy out the whole left field one day, one game, so he could
Yeah, he did.
get a market on any home run balls? It's very Charlie Sheen.
Just buy them all. We got some intel out of Chubb. We now know the winner of the Fantasy Football League last year, potential ownership down the road.
Joe, I'll take the 5th inning already.
Son to be a golfer.
This game ends by 10 o'clock, I'd be happy.
To get to know Mike Trout.
Give me a few hours extra sleep.
Whole purpose of the earpiece and microphone was for a chance for people at home, those watching on any platform, to get to see the player in a different light. There was the Lady Gaga. There's also the picture of Mike Trout in a diaper out there on Twitter now. That was being discussed, so somebody threw that up.
And Marte hits a ball over the shortstop's head for a base hit. Marte's seemed like he's getting hot here. First game back, 2 for 3. I'll take that.
Get that picture up again? Let me see. Oh my gosh, yeah. Sun's out, guns out.
Yeah, Phillips. I know Wardy. I don't know him, but I know he does Mets baseball. All right, so big bats again. Lindor, Alonso has struggled so far in their first 2 at bats, but Marte 1 out base hit.
Culture.
Got to get it done here.
And he brought up his high school. He's so close with those that were impactful on him as he grew up, and he still maintains those relationships, whether it's fantasy football or in your own clubhouse. So like Phil Nevin, he's like, I miss.
I don't know. It's ESPN, man. You know they go so outside the box.
That connection with players.
That's a great observation. The Philly boy. He still has Philly buddies.
All right, Frankie, let's go.
Lindor late on that pitch. And again, that might have been shadow induced.
Okay, Lindor wasn't late on that pitch. He was swung early on a breaking ball. So, again, they're not even paying attention. They're too concerned about Mike Trout dressing up as Lady Gaga. He was out in front. He wasn't late.
The Angels broadcaster Mark Gubazon, former Angel player, former Royal for a long time, from Philadelphia.
Come on, Frankie, let's go. Frankie's been at 45 RBIs for a little while now. Struggling a little bit in the second part of this West Coast trip.
Archie Bradley up in the Angels pen. A Sandoval delivers, and again, Lindor
swinging at those sick breaking balls. Lindor's just struggling here. Archie Bradley warming up in the bullpen.
He was looking fastball in, trying to cheat a little bit. All of a sudden, Sandoval just.
Again, Lindor's just out in front on a lot of pitches here. Not staying back on the ball.
Add shadows to it.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitch number 69 from Sandoval on the way to Lindor. Strike 3 on a
took a pitch on the inside corner. Oh, Lindor has been struggling. That was a good pitch that he could have swung at.
We heard Mike Trout say they can't pick up the spin, so if you're on the mound, put some spin on it. Tight little slider.
So Sandoval has just been throwing breaking balls at the Mets. When he's thrown fastballs, they've been hitting them. So he's been throwing a lot of breaking balls to the hitters, and they're struggling, most of them. All right, Pete Alonso, 2 outs. He's been struggling as well in this game.
So Michael Lorenzen was terrific last night.
Batters 1 through 5, 3 for 12, walked 5 strikeouts, 6 through 9, 4 for 8, home run, 2 strikeouts. So the bottom of the order has been doing their job so far for the Mets.
Are you looking starting pitching? Are you looking bullpen?
Look, I think the Mets hitters right now, they got to look for breaking balls. The guy, he's not throwing a lot of fastballs. You got to sit back and wait on a breaking ball here.
Demoralizing for a ball club, and we saw this in the losing streak, to where you finally get some runs or you get a lead and then you lose it late, and then your bullpen starts to get worn down.
That was the big question mark coming in. You got a 6-man rotation. You have to have a 6-man rotation. Here,
Alonso out in front of that changeup.
Personnel you have. Syndergaard, who has been out for pretty much the last 2 years. Shohei, who in Japan pitched 1 time a week.
Yeah, I don't want to hear anything about that broken finger, Joe, because he had that broken finger in the Dodgers series, and he hit well in the last 2 games. So, I'm not going to go on that. Alonso's got to sit back and wait for break ball. He's not throwing him a fastball here.
1-1 to Alonso. Change up last time. This time he misses down.
There you go.
Now, Ward leads the team in triples.
Gotta look breaking pitch here. Curveball, change up.
That bat's coming back.
Might try to sneak a fastball by him, but I doubt it.
Jared Walsh was killing it with the bat. Was a pitcher not that long ago. 2019.
Come on, Pete.
Made 13 appearances in AAA. Hit 250. Focus now all on hitting. But you're right. The Ohtani challenge.
Yeah, try to sneak a fastball inside. Ball 3. So he's in a hitter's count here. Look, he is not going to let Pete Alonso beat him. So Pete Alonso's got to be expecting a breaking ball here. He's not throwing him a fastball. He'd rather face Connor than Pete Alonso here. Pete Alonso's got to be patient here. Can't get over anxious here. I guarantee you a changeup's coming.
3-1, dangerous hitter Alonso. Next one.
There's a changeup, ball 4. Call that one. He wasn't pitching to Alonso.
2 down here in the 5th in the 2-1 game.
But then again, puts a man in scoring position with 2 outs with Connor at the plate. I take that.
Who leads MLB and OPS?
Come on, Mark. Once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. Still got a half a game to go. Mets lead 2-1, top of the 5th. First and second, 2 outs for the Mets with Marcana coming up. Let's go, guys. The goal is to hit 150 likes today, guys.
I like the win stuff. Because now everybody at home, you know what? Let me ask Siri.
Here's Marcana. Did the Yankees score 18 runs today and Aaron Judge not homer?
He did not homer. No. They're definitely padding their numbers today at the end of the game with 18 runs on the board. Run differential, definitely.
Yes, it's crazy. And I asked the question because Aaron Judge is the major league leader in OPS. Then Mike Trout. Right field, this
might drop? No, it wouldn't. All right, 3 outs, guys. So we didn't get the job done there. Still 2-1 Mets going to the bottom of the 5th. Taijuan Walker coming back on the mound with 68 pitches going into the bottom of the 5th. So the Mets didn't get it done here. You know, a little worrisome that the Mets had a couple opportunities here to get a couple more runs, get themselves a little cushion of a lead, but haven't done that as of yet. But Mets still lead 2-1. Taijuan Walker has been pitching well. Let's see if Taijuan Walker can continue to pitch well going forward. I think he can pitch 6 innings, 68 pitches. So, you know, even if it's 15 pitches an inning, he'll be averaging close to 90-something pitches, 95 pitches, which I think is the limit. Give us 6 innings, 1-2 runs, I'll take it. But the Mets got to score a couple more runs here. They had a couple opportunities where runners in scoring position with less than 2 outs. Didn't get it done. Again, in this situation here, there was 2 outs already. So, you know, you needed a clutch hit here. We didn't get it. But, you know, in the second inning, the Mets, you know, Marte with the double had no outs with a man on second and didn't get the run in there. So the Mets usually get it done in those spots, but they haven't in this game so far. But I do think the Mets are going to eventually get some runs here. It's just a matter of time. Just got to see if he can hold the Angels to at least 2 runs, the very least. So, once again, guys, we're going to the bottom of the 5th. Mets lead 2-1. So, once again, guys, don't forget to hit on that like button if you haven't already. If you're tuning in and you haven't hit on that like button yet, please take a second to hit on that like button. Let's get this stream out to more people. We already got 89 likes so far. My goal during a live stream is around 150. We've been hitting that mark almost every time. So let's continue that trend, guys. It's all about you guys hitting that like button to get this stream out to more people. And on Friday, guys, when you guys were live basically on your own, you guys hit it out of the park. No doubt about that. I mean, to see the stream get almost over 350 in a live stream and over 6,000, almost nearly 7,000 views in that Friday stream. I appreciate it. So here we go, guys. Taijuan Walker, 2-1 Mets.
Take on the AL West leading Astros at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 6 Central. ESPN Deportes, ESPN Radio will start at 6 Eastern, 5 Central with baseball tonight, Sunday night countdown.
So it's 9-1-2 for the Angels. This is definitely a big inning for Taijuan Walker here.
It's interesting. I don't know if you've all seen it, but there was video where, of course, Tony La Russa, after intentionally walking Max Muncy on a 1-2 to get to Max Muncy, he walked Trey Turner on a 1-2 pitch. Now the White Sox fans were chanting, "Fire Tony, fire Tony." What do you make of that?
You know, it makes you wonder, you know, when you're losing games, that the pressure starts to mount. That maybe, you know, something's going to be pushed to be done
James.
there. But you also know that Jerry Reinsdorf and Tony La Russa have a very close relationship. You know, Tony La Russa's past record of accomplishments speaks for itself.
Tony, days later, very defiantly said it was the right decision that he made.
I think if he would have done it on an 0-0 count right out of the get-go, then you don't really question it. You don't have to run out first. If you don't feel confident your pitcher is going to be able to get a hitter out, you still have 2 bases open, but it doesn't matter where, they put him on. And then face Muncy. But he woke up a sleeping giant on deck. And that's what Muncy said. And it really surprised me that Tony La Russa put 4 fingers up because that's not the type of athlete that he's been in the past.
Yeah, nice pitch on the outside corner. Finally got that outside pitch. 1 out.
White Sox situation?
Yeah, Coney nailed it. Look, it comes down to what Jerry Reinsdorf wants. The owner of the White Sox is
That was the 7th strikeout.
loyal owners.
Excuse me, 8th strikeout for Taijuan Walker in 5 innings. 4 in the 3rd.
Now is because Jerry felt bad about firing him almost 40 years ago. So the front office might have a view, fans might have views, social media might have a view. Nobody view.
All right, top of the order for the Angels here with 1 out in the 5th. Again, this is a big inning for Walker here. Don't want to put anybody on when Trout comes up to the plate.
This is an eye-opening game for Taijuan Walker with 8 strikeouts here in the 5th.
So he has 8 strikeouts, and ESPN was talking about he doesn't strike out guys. 8 strikeouts in 4 in the 3rd.
Being a factor.
All right, so Marsh is at the plate right now, the leadoff hitter. 76 pitches for Taijuan Walker. So gets out of this inning with around 85 pitches. He might get 1 more inning for sure.
Side-to-side movement on his 4-seamer, which is not optimal for that pitch, but his splitter is going down. Much more vertical movement straight down this year.
Come on, Taijuan, let's go.
And a head 0-2 on Marsh.
Oh, he just called that a strike. He just called that pitch a strike, and now he calls it a ball. The inconsistency. It's amazing to me. Like, if you just call that a strike, call it again, please. That's all I ask, both sides. It's just not that hard. There we go, strikeout. 9 strikeouts for Walker. 78 pitches, 2 outs in the 5th. Mike Trout coming up with nobody on, exactly what you want. Now you can challenge Mike Trout and not give in to him. Trout beats you with a home run, it's only a tie game. Taijuan Walker, 79 pitches with 4 2/3, pitching well.
What we're talking about there, 4 inches more drop than average. and the horizontal 1.5 inches less break than average. That's the profile you want for a splitter.
Again, I think Walker needs to challenge Trout here. Challenge him. If he beats you, tip your cap, but don't put him on base.
Want to know to Mike Trout? That's a good one in there for a strike. 95 velocity, very solid. On pitch number 80 from Taiwan.
Again, gets out of this inning with 85 pitches. He's definitely coming out for the 6th. With someone ready in the bullpen just in case. There we go. Nice pitch.
2.
It's a well-executed pitch there. 95 up in the zone. Two strikes. Mike chokes up now on the bat.
All right, try to keep it up there. 2-2 count.
Up. Then he went down with that splitter that tried to say that was the one pitch I had a chance to hit. Crowd starts to get into it on a 2-2 count. 3 straight 4-seam fastballs. That ball is hooked into the corner with just
Foul
a
ball.
little too much hook.
Well, he got out in front of that one a little bit. Just foul ball about 15 feet. Again, that was one of the bad splitters he's thrown in the last couple of innings. That was one of the bad ones. That was a hanger there.
Exactly where he wants to hit.
That stayed over the middle of the plate.
Barrels it. Wasted. That you liked.
Next one on
And he
the way,
pops it
sky
up.
high on the
It
infield.
looks like it's going to be a can of corn for Escobar.
Moves to his
Yeah.
left, makes the play.
There we go. 5 excellent innings from Taiwan Walker. He has a total of 84 pitches going to the 6th inning. He will get another inning for sure. Taiwan Walker has kept the Angels to 1 run. Mets to lead 2-1 going to the top of the 6th. There we go. Excellent inning from Taiwan Walker. Once again, guys, going to the top of the 6th. Don't forget to hit on that like button. Couldn't stress that like button enough, guys. Looney, what's up, buddy? Long time no see, buddy. I know you. I know a lot of people who are just hanging out in the stream don't chat a lot. You know, you're busy. I expect that. You know, I understand that. But I appreciate it, Looney, for tuning in. Stoney was actually in the stream on Friday. When I wasn't on the stream, I did look at the chat, you know, because I want to see what people talked about, and I wanted to give a shout out to people who actually were tuning in all day during that night. But once again, guys, we're not gonna have a lot of West Coast trips anymore, you know, long ones. So there'll be a lot more live streams during the week as well. But as I forgot who said it, I believe it was I forgot who said it. I wanted to give him credit for that. Damn it, who the hell said that? I'm trying to remember now. Let's see. Steve, that's who it was. Steve was talking about, you know, next year with the balanced schedule, there'll be a lot more West Coast time and games. So, you know, I might not just use a partner. I might just, you know, like pick and choose. You know, maybe I'll give members of the channel opportunities to come on a live stream if I can't be on a live stream and have you guys do a live stream. You know, I'll pick a random member or somebody who wants to do it, and they can do that as well. So we'll look into that. Nick, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, exactly, Todd. There's only one West Coast trip to Oakland in September, so thank God for that. So there'll be a lot more live streams in the next couple of months, guys, so don't worry about that. So here we go, guys. Top of the 6th, 5th, 6th. Yes, sorry. Jesus, I lost track. Top of the 6th, Mets lead 2-1. I believe Sandoval is still in. Escobar is leading off. Let's see what the Mets can do here.
Haven't done it since May, which they had that 14-game.
Let's get some extra runs here. We need some insurance runs here, guys.
Mets are hearing some footsteps. The Atlanta Braves won again today. It's at 11 in a row for Atlanta. They're playing really good baseball. Go within 5. Eduardo Escobar to lead off this inning. Sandoval gets ahead, first pitch curveball in there for a strike. On the ground, easy play, Rendon.
That was a nice play by Rendon right there. Escobar hit it hard, but right at Rendon.
For the first out. Home run of his
Yeah,
game,
Ravitch
J.D.
talks
Davis,
a
the
lot.
best coverage in today's game. Let's take a look at that home run through the T-Mobile multi-view.
Well, it's 2-for-2 tonight, and both have been at the first pitch. You see 2 pitches.
All right, JD having a good day so far.
Fastball up in the zone. You see the distance, 377 feet. Watch angle, 26 degrees. Not waiting at all. J.D. Davis with the shadows. He says, "Coming both that I do not care."
See if J.D. Davis can continue his nice game with 2-2, 2-2, 2 for 2 in the game with a home run.
On deck, 2 for 2 with 2 singles. And 65 hits on the season.
Come on, JD, let's go.
Amongst the leaders of the majors.
JD, see, Sandoval's just throwing breaking balls to these guys now, and they're swinging at it. They got to be patient here.
The entire culture around the Mets is different this year, obviously, but there's a similar feel to last year because the Braves are starting to play a lot better.
No, it's not a similar feel. That's how unaware ESPN broadcast is. They're not.
Series. Is there something because the culture is different, or something about the players that leads you as a Met fan out there to say this year's going to be different? Because there's a little concern.
Well, understandably, the National League East is shaping up to be a bear of a division right now. Some really good teams playing exceptionally well, but the Mets themselves, offensively, their profiles changed. Francisco Lindor is
3 pitches, 3 strikeouts. All breaking balls to J.D. Davis.
This franchise changed when Pete Alonso showed up. That massive rookie year he had. He's the center of that lineup as we get a look at Patrick Sandoval and another good changeup, perfectly located down and away.
Talk about having confidence with your changeup. He threw 3 back-to-back right there in that at-bat after opening up with a slider.
JBU, I agree.
Neal's jumped on the first pitch, and this time he does not swing it. It's inside.
I agree, Sam.
Just to finish on that point about
I like to see. I think the DH helps the Mets so much more.
Diaz is now comfortable being the closer for the Mets after struggling.
Well, unfortunately, Hold'em is on the IL, so you might see Jake Reed in the spot, and that's a ground ball to second, and McNeil beats it out for a base hit. All right, there we go.
Shortstop moved over in between Matt Duffy and Jared Walsh. Almost looked like that ball either took a bad hop on the lip and give him a hit on it. It fooled Velasquez.
Yeah, it took a weird bounce off the dirt.
Gets a good jump on it, going to his left, and then all of a sudden has to veer towards his right and is able to get some.
All right, so at the very least, we turn over the lineup for the 7th
first base
for the Mets. Multi-hit games this year in the NL, 22. Jeff McNeil leads the league. Above Mookie Betts, above Machado, above Crone, above Bell, above Goldschmidt, above Riley. So Jeff McNeil is having a 2022 that he had earlier when he started with the Mets a couple of years ago.
Thomas Nido. The other part about the Mets, we make a big deal, obviously, of Scherzer and DeGrom coming back, but they've been without their primary catcher, James McCann, for a long time. That's a big deal.
Come on, Jeff. Come on, Nito.
When you think about not only what the production that the catcher has behind home plate, but just running the pitching staff, it's so involved nowadays. Signal calling, all the information that has to be digested.
Tell you what, and knowing about Showalter and having spent a lot of time with him at ESPN when he was with us for Baseball Tonight, he's loving the fact that McNeil has gotten on base, especially with 2 outs. He's done it twice, and it's gotten Tomasnito up to the plate. He'll roll over the lineup to be able to
exactly what I said.
To be able to hit as a leadoff the next inning. It happened in the 3rd inning where Nimmo got on with the base hit and ended up scoring.
Hit hard to the first baseman, but he stepped on first for the 3rd out. Mets still lead 2-1 going to the bottom of the 6th. Taijuan Walker looks like he's coming in for the 6th with, what did he have, 84 pitches? So Taijuan Walker getting a solid inning from him. They're going to use the bullpen for only 3 innings. Hopefully he does a good job going into the 6th inning because that's what we need right here. Yeah, it was hit hard by Nito, but it was Walsh is right there at first. What are you going to do? It happens. But once again, guys, we are going to the bottom of the 6th. Mets lead 2-1. So once again, guys, let's hit on that like button. Let's get the likes to 150 is always the goal in the live stream. We're almost at 100. We're at 98 right now. So there's a few people out there. 167 have been around 168 to 180 throughout the stream tonight. So we're averaging a decent amount of likes, but we got to get it to 150, guys. Let's get it over 100, and we'll keep on going. The Mets still lead it 2-1. Taijuan Walker has been excellent on the mound so far. Let's see if he can finish it off in the 6th inning and have a very nice outing that we needed from Taijuan Walker after the last 2 starts have not been good. And getting that pitching performance on the last game of the road trip and doing our very best to get the win and make this a 5-5 road trip, which everybody would take, and keep our lead at 5.5 games in the NL East going home to face the Brewers and the Marlins. And the Mets have been excellent on the road. At home this year. So I expect nothing less. Even though the Brewers have been struggling, they are a very good team. They do have very good pitching. They can shut you down. So it's going to be a very good series against the Mets and the Brewers. So we're going to the bottom of the 6th, guys. The Angels will have up 3, 4, 5. Rendon, Walsh, and Duffy. So another big inning here for Taijuan Walker. Let's see if he gets it done and finishes his outing with 6 innings and just 1 run.
Matthewson and Honus Wagner, the class of 38, 37. Matt LaJoie was there. Connie Mack, John McGraw, Cap Anson, Eddie Collins from the class of 39. Wagner, Grover,
Come on, Taijuan, let's go.
Alexander, Tris Speaker, Connie Mack, Cy Young in that picture that we just saw. Phil Nevin, who was starter Sandoval.
Walker needs to get it done here. 3, 4, 5 coming up. Another big inning for Walker here. I agree, JBU. I agree, 100%. That's what people don't like to talk about when they talk about. And this is a pop-up. Who is going to get it? It looks like Marte is under it. 1 out. JBU, I agree. That's the whole idea right there, right? People don't like to talk about that with the Mets. They're like, oh, here come the Braves. Well, the Mets have done what they did without DeGrom the entire year, without Scherzer for 6 weeks, without McGill for almost 4 weeks. Yet, they're still the second best record in baseball and the best record in the National League. You know, people are giving too much credit to the Braves and not enough credit to the Mets. You know, everybody's giving credit to the Braves for going 11 straight. That's great. It's a great performance by the Braves, but the Mets have the best record in the National League without 3 of their top 5 pitchers in their rotation. I mean, come on. It's hard to not give so much credit to the Mets here. Let's go, Taijuan. 88 pitches for Taijuan right now. 1 out.
Oh, yeah, I had a card. I had a card that I could hop into. Right. I had to ride the bus from the airport. We at LaGuardia Airport. Hopped on a team bus, a couple of blankets wrapped around me. I got to my car.
Took that.
It was right in the middle of that, too. Loved it, Gary Carter. Really? Right in the middle of that. I can distinctly remember him.
All right, 1-2 count to Walsh right now. Let's see if Taijuan Walker can get it done here. Oh, fastball right down the middle, strike 3. Woo. Now that's some pitching by Taijuan Walker right there. Woo. 10th strikeout of the game. You know, ESPN, Taijuan Walker's not a strikeout pitcher. He has 10 strikeouts and still has
95 miles an hour right there.
Just 90 pitches. So that's efficient pitching right there. All right, so 2 outs, nobody on. Duffy coming up to the plate. 90 pitches for Taijuan Walker, 2-1 Mets.
2 quick outs, 91st pitch.
Exactly, Ken. And that's what I think people forget. Taijuan Walker is a number 5 on this Mets team. Because of the injuries, he got moved up.
Why is the strikeout rate so low? The first inning, no swing and misses.
can't help as a pitcher but take inventory and wonder, is something going on here? Do I need to make an adjustment? Obviously, the shadows came into play.
I think the shadows gave him confidence as well. He's attacking the zone a lot better. He's hitting his spots except for that last one, even though the swing was not made.
Nice pitch. Finish it strong, Taiwan. Finish it strong.
It's working.
Since the first inning,
93
3 guys
pitches.
have reached base. In the first inning, he gave up 4 hits. Ahead 1-2.
That was a nasty splitter that Duffy held up on.
He's got 10 tonight. One thing that struck me up the first inning, pitching coach, everyone out there, everyone out there. Let it breathe a little bit.
I agree, JBU. Yeah, I wouldn't send him out to this in a 7. He gets out of this inning. 95 pitches right now. It's going to be 96 pitch coming up. Get him out on a good note. He will be pitching against the Marlins at home in his next start. So see what he's going to throw. He's going to throw that splitter, another high fastball. Let's see what he throws.
2-2.
All right. He threw that splitter, but it just stood up there. So it wasn't a good splitter at all.
This guy is good at his job. He was here before Buck got here. Buck is getting to know him and really likes what he's seeing. That's pitching staff in good hands there. Jeremy Hefner leading the way.
And he popped it up. Walker has it. Escobar calls him off. 6 solid innings from Taiwan Walker. 1 run, 6 innings, 10 strikeouts, 2 hits since the first inning. In total, 6 hits, 1 walk. Excellent pitching performance. It wasn't looking good in the first inning for Walker, but after the first inning, he adjusted, figured out what he had to do, found his pitches, and pitched a great 6 innings for the Mets. Well-needed outing from a starter going into the last game of the road trip. The Mets got to score some runs here. Once again, we talked about it. Even though the Mets didn't do nothing in the top of the 6th, McNeil getting that hit all of a sudden turns over the lineup going into the top of the 7th. The Mets can do a lot of things. It could be, you got to look at the lineup. Let's see what the Angels lineup. Let's see. So it would be Lagares, Suzuki, Wade. So it would be 3 right-handed batters. So would they go Drew Smith? They could do that. I think it could be Seth Lugo. It's definitely going to be a right-hander because there's no point in putting a lefty in that spot right now. You want to save the lefty, because there's a pretty good chance that this game's still close. You're going to see Ohtani in this ball game. So you want to keep those lefties ready to go for him. But Mets lead 2-1 going to the top of the 7th. Top of the order, Nimmo leading off in the 7th inning. The Mets need a couple of runs here and see if they can get a cushion. We're at 104 likes, guys. Let's keep it going. So appreciate over 100 likes, but let's see if we can get to about 150. I think we can do it. What do you say, guys? Yeah, I don't know if Ottavino's going to come into the game. Again, you got Drew Smith, you got Lugo for the 7th and 8th. I think you're going to see if the game's within range and a tying run or the go-ahead run is at the plate, Ohtani's going to pinch hit. So we got to save that lefty ready to go, just in case. Yeah, we got 2 of them in Shreve and Rodriguez, but we'll see. So a solid performance from Taiwan Walker. He is done, obviously. 6 innings, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts, and 6 hits. That's a great performance by Walker. We needed it. Top of the order for the Mets. Top of the 7th. See if they can get some insurance runs here.
Small part. 2 prior starts at Angel Stadium, just 1 run at 0.56 ERA. He had struck out 17, and he had not issued a walk. So the strikeout rate at Angel Stadium now 27 to 2 walks in 3 starts. 2022 Chevrolet MLB All-Star Ballot is now open. Vote daily at MLB.com/vote. Send your favorite players to LA this summer. be a handful of Mets on that, depending on the vote totals and the engaged fan base that they have.
All right, let's go, boys. Let's start it off.
Should be in Los Angeles for the All-Star.
No, there's no. YouTube got away with dislikes, because they became woke now. So, they don't want to discourage anybody, but you can't see, they don't show the likes anymore, dislikes. Usually, I get about 20. That's okay. So, Aaron Loop is in a ball game, the former Met, 4.29 ERA, hasn't pitched well in 25 games for the Angels. And it hits Nimmo, and he takes a leadoff hit by pitch. So, that's a good start for the Mets right there. Look, Loop hasn't been good this year. The Mets got to capitalize on it. I'm a little shocked they put in Loop here. There's only one lefty in Nimmo. You're going to have Marte, Lindor, and Alonso all right-handed. So there we go, guys. Good start to the inning with a hits batsman. 41 hit by pitches so far, leading the league in hit by pitches. Mets got to get some insurance runs here. I feel 2 runs happening here. I feel it.
Hit by pitches as Marte swings and misses. They're on base for about 106, which would be the most since 1900.
It is a lot of these hitters from the Mets. You have to be able to crowd them in. Pete Alonso started Marte at the plate.
He really is, Ken. Nimmo's just great to watch. You know what? He's turned into a guy the Mets have to sign in the offseason. No doubt about it. Come on, Starling, let's go. Marte trying to put down a bunt, but held it back. 1-1.
Last year when he was on the Mets, almost a historic season, an 0.95 ERA last year, 65 games. This year, been a little bit of a struggle, especially recently. Last 15 games, he's given up 9 earned runs.
That's way inside 2-1. So is there anything you can pinpoint as to why?
I think he's, the stuff looks very similar in terms of, his repertoire. He's kind of a sidewinding lefty, lower 3/4. Pretty good velocity and movement from that release point.
Luke is just wild right now. Mets can't be too aggressive here. Let Luke beat you here. He can't get the ball over the plate right now. Let him work the count. He's not pitching well right now.
Consistently been arm side, leaking arm side, a bit too much of a plate. Once he establishes it, it's hard to get the head out.
All right, ball 4. 2 on, nobody out. With the big boys up, Lindor's coming up. Lindor has struggled in this game. He's been struggling a little bit in the series. Pitching coach coming to the mound to talk to Luke. Here's where the Mets got to take advantage. They had a couple of times, they had a couple of guys on base with less than 2 outs and didn't get it done. They need to get it done in the 7th inning right here. Got to at least get a run in this inning, at the very least.
So we're in the shadows, not only here at the ballpark, but we're in the shadow of Disneyland, which is just down the road from here, and a couple of the Mets had a chance to enjoy it. There's Francisco Lindor. Brought his family over to Disneyland to ride the rides.
Come on, Frankie.
Literally across the street.
Nice time to get hot.
All day and all night.
Oh, called that one a ball. Ooh, that was a strike, but they called it a ball.
Strike zone maybe shrinks a little bit because that looked like it got a lot.
And you know what? When you're not throwing strikes, you're not going to get a call from the umpire. So that's a nice. Hey, listen, that's a strike, but they called it a ball. I'll take it. Come on, Frankie.
We got a big chance here, though.
Lindor missed the fastball there on the inside half.
It's funny, we talked about the Mets perception out there by some of the fans, like it's going to happen again, the Braves coming. Think about trade deadline acquisitions. Buster reported on Scherzer and DeGrom likely closer to the All-Star game. You could make the case that if they both come back and pitch well and are healthy, they're the 2 best pitchers in baseball. That a really good team already is at it.
1-1 runner to go.
Oh, no.
And he is tagged out.
Come on, Nimmo. What are you doing?
Thanks to the yelling of either Rendon or Velasquez, was able to step off.
Why were they doing double steal there?
Not a big fan of this play.
They were trying for a double steal. I don't understand that. I don't get it.
3 and 4 coming up, and you have Lindor. This situation, you have to be 100%.
I don't understand that call. That was clearly a call from the bench. I don't understand that.
Great pickoff move from a veteran left-handed pitcher.
Jesus. I don't get it. That was clearly a call from the bench. I don't like that at all. You had first and second, nobody out. Why would you do that?
Loop set him up perfectly with the leg and the turn.
Not a smart base running play. I don't get it. Oh, yeah.
Ropes this one to left coming in now. Going
damn it. He hit that ball hard.
Wade came in and had one go over his head. Marsh didn't get a great read on it.
He did not get a great read, and Marsh plays a very shallow left field. We've been talking about it since the beginning of the game.
Well, can't do nothing there if you're Lindor. You hit the ball hard.
Second, but does not panic, does not take any steps forward, just sits to it. Once he gets the read, he goes back. And
yeah, that just killed the inning right there. With that base running mistake. I don't know what that was.
Aaron Loop is going to come on.
Aaron Loop is coming out of the game, bringing a right-hander in for Alonso. So, all right, guys. So the pitching change is happening. Bringing in I'm not sure where they're bringing in, but they're bringing in a right-handed batter for Pete Alonso. I don't know. That wasn't a base running call by the runners there. That was clearly from the bench. I don't know why you would do that. You had Loop on the ropes there. That just doesn't make sense. That was just stupid. You had first and second, nobody out. You had Loop on the ropes there. And now, that pickoff, that was just stupid. Not very smart at all. Kind of could have took you out of this inning here. But you have Marte on second with 2 outs with your best hitter coming to the plate. Alonso's got to come through here. That's just it. I don't know why you would run in that spot. Now, if you make it, you look like a genius, but it's not a very smart base running decision. That clearly came from the bench. I don't see why Nimmo and Marte why they would run in that spot. I mean, base hit scores Nimmo, so I don't get it. Kind of annoying. But a single should score Marte from second. We need Pete Alonso to come through here. It gave a little bit of momentum to the Angels here, and that's what I worry about, though. But, I mean, you got the bottom of the order coming up for the Angels. So, in the 7th. But, again, you keep this game close. There's a pretty good chance that Ohtani's going to pinch hit in this ball game. Yeah, Yippee, even if it was a hit-and-run call, it's still not a good call from the bench. I mean, why you hit – if there's only a guy on first, you're trying to hit and run, fine. Or even if you're trying to steal second to get in scoring position, fine. But a hit-and-run with first and second doesn't make sense. Because the base hit's going to score Nimmo. All right, so here we go, guys. Top of the 7th, 2 outs. Marte on second, Alonso coming up.
On the left is the pickoff move. On the right is his normal move home. Nimmo bites. The minute he lifts his leg, Luke just drops it and turns, and he's got him.
So now 2 down. Runner at second is Marte.
All right, Archie Bradley in for against Alonso. We'll see if Alonso can get it done here.
He missed 22 games with an abdominal sprain.
Come on, Pete. Base it here will score Marte.
Archie was with the Phillies last season, 7-3 with a 3.70 ERA. He's a workhorse. Wherever he is, he will answer the bell.
This is Phil Nevin now having to manage this inning situation right here. 55 RBIs at the plate right now. First base is open. Marcana on deck, opting to pitch to Alonso.
Right back up the middle. It's a swimmer. I Can he keep it on the infield? Now coming home.
Yes! The speed kills. Mets get the run home. Alonso, a squibber down to second base because of the shift. The second baseman dives for it. Marte's rounding third. A good throw would have got Marte at the plate, but an error throw. Again, you put the pressure on the defense, and they got it done.
Marte was ready yesterday, but said, I'm giving you an extra day. Great job here by Matt Duffy, keeping it in the field.
Again, a bad throw by Marte, by the second baseman, scores Marte. So, again, the Mets made the speed, put pressure on the defense, and when he put pressure on the defense, they got to make a perfect play, and they did it. Alonso's on second base, by the way, guys. They got that insurance run. Let's see if they can get another one.
One of the most prepared baseball people in the game.
Again, a good throw would have got him, but again, you put pressure on the defense to make a perfect throw, and they didn't get it done. Mark Hanna at the plate. Pete Alonso on second base. Another man in scoring position. Mets have been killers with 2 outs and runners on. Runners in scoring position. I like Mark Hanna in this spot right here.
He'll be out there just taking reads, moving around, staying loose.
Go on, Mark.
Each arm, not only in the outfield, but in the infield.
Cannon got that breaking ball, broke real late, nearly got him. It's 2-1. Well, knowing Joey and now knowing Alex the way we do, I get the sense that the core is very prepared when it comes to baseball. Not a lot slips by.
All right.
Let's go.
No,
a 2-out RBI would be nice here. Ball 3. It's a very good count for Canna right now. Pete Alonso got to get a nice secondary lead at second so he can score on a base hit. Ball 4. All right. Escobar's coming up. 2 men on. 2 outs. 3-1 Mets. Got the 1 run in, extra insurance run. Escobar has had a really good West Coast trip. He will be batting left-handed, not his strong side, but is definitely his power side.
Because why not is a
Of course, they do these stupid commercials.
And if it holds wine,
Jeez, this pen is terrible.
Woodbridge, wine your way.
Come on, Escobar. Not giving Archie Bradley any room on the corners here.
Double over the head of Wade allowed the first run to score. Then there was the hit batter and the walk.
I think Escobar is going to get it done here.
Down the third run.
Let's go.
Let's see what Archie Bradley thinks about that first pitch call, too, as well.
2 on for Escobar.
Oof, that was a hanger.
Much easier to see the baseball now that the shadows have passed, and that clearly was very impactful on this game, as Mike Trout sort of told us about.
No, it'd be nice if the ESPN broadcast would actually show in the bullpen for the Mets, but like they haven't shown it. It would be nice, that's kind of important going into the later innings, knowing that Walker's not coming back out for the 7th. Nice, good eye. 2-1.
Bradley misses again, 2-1. Mets have the day off. Buck made the point before the game. What advantage it is.
Let's go, guys. Hit on that like button. Over 200 in the stream right now. Let's go. Mets got that insurance one. Let's see if they can get more in the 7th. Oof. Fastball, they'll pass Escobar. Oof.
You just get the feeling, it's almost like Bob Showalter's a cartoon character now. I mean, the way he goes through just so many little minutia details, just remarkable. The desk today, where the manager's desk was in the visiting clubhouse, faced the trainer's room. He didn't like it because then he thought the players would be afraid to go get treatment in the trainer's room.
Escobar fouls it off and stays alive on a high fastball. Yeah, I don't get it, guys. I don't get it.
The manager's desk.
I don't know. I mean, it's important going into the later innings, knowing that the Mets are going to be using their bullpen to finish this game out. Show you the bullpen. Let's at least know. who's
want to be seen
in the bullpen.
Now it is frowned
terrible.
upon if you're not in there, making sure you're getting ready.
Come on, Eddie, let's go. All right, staying alive.
That's such a good
Yeah, put him on
point. I would
timeout.
think, though, that at some point, too, managers at one point wanted to know who was going in the transfer. He's trying to avoid that.
Again,
Whatever
YouTube wants you to be a little bit more
understand
strict.
I want to be in a position where they don't see me.
Yes, exactly. He was worried about the players and their feeling of the managers keyholing them one after another going into the trainer's room to get treatment.
Escobar staying alive. I like this at bat from Escobar.
Managers' meetings, like pull the curtain back.
Making Bradley
before each
work.
game, we as a crew go in and spend time with the manager. And I walk in a few minutes late because I was talking with Alonso in the locker room, and he's in the middle of a story that I know has nothing to do with the questions that you might be interested in. He loves to talk baseball. And if they're working a game at 4 o'clock local time, he'd still be talking baseball.
Get out.
Rendon over.
Out of play. Another follow off. All right.
Into another glove.
I just think it's really cool. Sometimes I observe just his eyes as they move from first base where Pete Alonso is, where he is at second
Let's
base.
go.
and Hannah is at
Let's get some
first.
more insurance runs,
And
guys.
one
Let's
of the whole
go.
thing, he is studying every movement, not only of his players, but also the defense itself.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
James, I would not.
Billy Martin back in the day.
Yeah, and there's so many connections with Epler and Stick Michael and his Yankee days. This dynamic.
Come on, Eddie. Good at bat so far. Make it count.
Currently is as harmonious as
Ah.
there is. Escobar swings and misses.
Nah, the pitch you wanted to swing at.
Strand 2.
All right, guys. So on a infield base hit from Pete Alonso, Marte comes around to score from second on a bad throw by the second baseman. He would have been out if it was a good throw, but the Mets' speed put pressure on the defense, and that's how the Mets scored that run there. And that's what the Mets have done all season, right? Found ways to make the defense, put pressure on the defense to make the perfect throw or the perfect play. And a lot of the times, you put pressure on the defense, they're going to make a mistake. And that's what the Mets did there. To take a 2-run lead going to the bottom of the 7th, where, again, ESPN did not show the Mets bullpen once in this top of the 7th. So I don't know if it's Drew Smith. I'm assuming it's either Drew Smith or Seth Lugo. That's what I'm thinking. But who the hell knows? Because ESPN doesn't show the bullpen at all. They spent 45 minutes talking to Trout, and they had Trout on the bigger screen in the double screen than the actual play that's going on. So I don't know what the hell's going on. But ESPN can do a little bit better. Like, it's later in the ball game. The bullpens are going to be in this game. Can you please show the bullpen and what's going on? But why would they? It's not like ESPN is broadcasting a baseball game here. What's up, Jonathan? How you doing, buddy? Yeah, it's like they showed Trout in a Lady Gaga suit, then him with a diaper. It's like, could we please get into the baseball? Like, aren't you broadcasting the baseball game, not a Q&A from Trout? I mean, Jesus. Yeah, Jonathan. That's it. Your Phillies are done. That's it. Sorry. Can't lose to the Diamondbacks and got blown out. That's the best winning streak you're going to have all year, buddy. I got to get on you a little bit, Joe, it feels like a 30 for 30. It really does. But, Jonathan, I love you, buddy. All the respect. Listen, I always see any team can lose by a lot of runs. It's baseball. Yeah. I don't know what happened to your catcher there in that spot. It kind of blew that game there. I told you, Jonathan, the defense is going to come back to earth, and it's going to kill you in the long run. It really is. That new voice in the clubhouse is only going to last so long. It's the actual performance of the team, the defense and the pitching is just going to catch up at the end, unless you make moves at the deadline. But again, what do you want? 9 in a row. I mean, how much more can you ask for? I mean, it puts you back into consideration in the division, in the playoff spot for that matter. All right, guys. So let's see who's actually pitching for the Mets in the bullpen. We'll see. Bottom of the seventh, Mets lead 3-1, and now they're interviewing Jeff McNeil. So who knows if they'll actually show the game?
12 to 15 game. So quite a few friends, family coming down. So it's nice to see them all.
So between tickets, state tax, we're looking at you losing money.
So we're talking about state tax now. Jesus Christ.
Let's talk about yesterday real quick. So take me through the throw at home plate. I want to talk defense first. You were coming in strong.
Jesus.
How hard do you think that ball left your hand?
Not too hard. I mean, I don't have the best arm, but I know how to charge the ball well. That's what I do well in the outfield. I go and get it, and I get rid of it quick. So I knew
exactly. Any team can get blown out at any time, no matter if it's a good team or a bad
I
team.
knew they're going to be sending on Tony, so just charge it as hard as I can, get rid of it as quick as I can, and throw a strike.
Look, do I think the Phillies are going to win the division? No.
Just to let you know,
But Seth Lugo was in the game, by the way. Not that you would know, since they're talking to Jeff McNeil.
Now let's go to the hitting. That's the
Jesus
fun part.
Christ. Can they please show the game?
Made
Oh,
some
my God.
adjustments from what I saw from last year.
I think Jonathan and any baseball fan can agree that ESPN is terrible calling games.
I just tried not to.
I mean, they make
try not to hit too much
Apple.
this year.
They're
Last
giving
year,
Apple a run for their money. I swear.
I was just more focused on hitting the ball hard. Didn't really care where they were playing me.
No, that's true, Jonathan. They're coming, but it took 11-game winning streak just for them to, have a taste of the division. But nobody expected the Braves to be 10 games out the whole year. So, yeah. All right, so 1-2 count. Not that anybody can know because they're not telling you anything. Yeah, Apple shows the games. They just talk nonsense during the game.
It's been working. You don't have to hit the ball too hard to get base hits.
All right, great McNeil. Goodbye. Come on, let's go. Show the full game. There we go. All right, they're back on.
Good stuff, Eddie. You kept the full conversation on youtube.com/ESPN. Was that an allusion to sort of brain off approach? Find a spot and just put the bat on the ball and go?
Well, we need Lugo to do good here. He struggled over the last in this West Coast trip.
Defense, they were putting shift on because I'm not that predictable.
Well, clearly you see what the Mets are doing here. I wonder what they're going to do in the 8th inning, considering the fact that Ohtani's going to come up at some point.
Where his stance is, and it's really worked for him. He chokes up a little bit more on that. You want that.
And he strikes out Lagares on the curveball.
Seth Lugo into the game.
Game day was a little bit quicker than the call itself.
Let's take a look
1 out.
right now.
Good pitch.
Where he was last year, 2021, upright. Where in 2022 he's bent over a little bit more. He's more into his legs. See the numbers? Yes, they're different. He was number 6 last year. That's Marte now. He's number 1. But he can turn on pitches in and keep them there instead of rolling over on them. That's what he's done. If you pitch him away, he'll drive it like we've seen tonight.
All right, 1 out. Bottom 7, 3-1 Mets.
Seth Lugo's been very good lately. He's allowed just 2 runs in his last 8 games, sub-2 ERA, 7 punch-outs, no walks.
No, Lugo has his bad outings, but he's been decent this year.
Low save against the Dodgers, but this, as Cody pointed out, this has been a tough trip. You come west for the second time in a short period of time. You deal with the Padres, the Dodgers, and the Angels.
I agree, James. My God.
Down in 10 games. I understand the other teams have closed the gap, but this is a huge collective box to check and go 500 if they can hold on and win this one for them.
Absolutely. And, to hammer home that Jeff McNeil point, a great job by Eduardo on that interview. According to Baseball Reference, he's their most valuable player this year. 1.8 WAR. And collectively, they've spread it out. Bob Showalter uses that, the sum's greater than the parts.
No, James, I was told by YouTube to time people out sometimes, unfortunately. Nice pitch. Don't worry, it's nothing personal. I usually don't time out anybody, but YouTube wants me to be a little more stricter. When people are going back and forth and talking about somebody, I got to block that person. It's annoying, but I got to do it.
It's a trend, right? Versatility. When we go back, we talked about Joe.
Well, at least I know the porn bot subscribed to my channel because that's the only way they can get in.
Sort of that jack of all trades, moving around. Now that ability to play multiple positions.
Yep, Joe, that's the only person I ever banned.
Huge aspect to these teams as they
Because it was just
their
stupid.
lineups and their rosters.
Look, X the Braves if June doesn't matter.
2 strikes on the way to Suzuki.
All right, it looks like a pop-up.
Playable. He was in right field.
McNeil got it, 2 outs.
Shallow way, the second baseman McNeil makes the play. Just showed you the standings, the hottest team in baseball right now. Brian Snitker's defending.
Yeah, that's the thing, guys. You know, X the Braves if June doesn't matter. They gained five games back in the division in 10 games.
Braves now 11.
And that's another point that I could have made from that guy.
Today, but they've won 9 of 10.
Let the Braves know that June doesn't matter. Come on.
Marlins are 8-4, and we know they can pitch with anybody.
All right, 2 outs. Bottom of 7th. Seth Lugo looking good.
Company got together.
And right to Nimmo, can of corn. 3 outs going to the top of the 8th, guys. Good pitching by Lugo. So it's clearly Juice Smith coming in the 8th inning. Mets lead 3-1. Good performance by Lugo, which we needed. Mets have 3 runs, 9 hits. Angels have 1 run, 6 hits, and 1 error. Going to the top of the 8th, the Mets have up. Who do the Mets have up? J.D. Davis, Jeff McNeil, and Tomas Nido. So the Mets got – the bottom of the order has been doing damage in this game so far. So I like the fact that the bottom of the order has been taking care of business. The top of the order has been trouble. I don't want Lugo to pitch the 8th. You know, give him 1 inning. You'll have him. You got him rested tomorrow as well. You got the whole bullpen rested for the homestand. That's what I want. You know, you got Juice Smith, who's rested. Pitch him. He's your 8th inning guy. You'll have Diaz in the 9th, depending on the Mets get more insurance runs or not. But keep Lugo for 1 inning. He pitched well. Get him out on a good note. Get Juice Smith in. Let him do the job. Juice Smith's going to have a tough time of it because the Angels will have up, 9-1-2. So they're getting the top of the order up, and it's not going to be easy for Diaz either in the 9th. So, but it's a big day for the Mets to have off tomorrow. It'll be nice to get this win, go 5-5 on the road trip, get an off day, relax, get everybody rested for the homestand for the Brewers and the Marlins. Yeah, the A's are playing bad, but the A's are sustainable. Like, the A's are not terrible. Even all the people they gave up, the Royals are pretty bad. Yeah, Jake Reed's not coming in this ball game, guys. Don't worry. Unless the Mets score like 6 runs in this inning, Jake Reed's not coming in. It's going to be Drew Smith in the 8th. You know, maybe. It depends because, it's only a 2-run lead. If there's anybody on base, Ohtani's coming into the game to pinch it. So, you might get that lefty matchup that you're going to need. So, Drew Smith might start the inning. And then, depending on how it's looking, if he's struggling, you're going to need the lefty to come in because Ohtani's going to bat in this game. I have a feeling he is. All right, guys. Top of the 8th. Mets lead 3-1. You have J.D. Davis, Jeff McNeil, and Tomas Nido. The bottom of the order has been very good this year. This game. See if the Mets can continue it.
A cool baseball day when you consider all the super regionals that are going on as we get set to head to Omaha for the College World Series. Texas currently leading East Carolina 4-0. Game currently on.
Well, you got to remember, guys, Jake Reed is on this team because the bullpen arm is needed because Holdeman is on the IL.
The number 1 team and overall seed in the country, Tennessee. So Notre Dame is on its way to Omaha. And Tennessee, that was 57-8 coming into today. Think about that.
All right, Ryan Tepera is in for the Angels. Another guy that I wanted the Mets to get in the offseason for a bullpen spot.
And they won 7-3, which opens the entire tournament up for any of the 8 teams to get there.
That really does. And again, still.
Come on, JD, start it off.
Presence, probably, maybe, potential 4 teams. Right now, 3 in.
Getting out, throwing no fastballs to J.D. Davis, all breaking balls.
Now with the Texas A&M.
J.D. Davis has a 733 OPS, 265 batting average, 2 home runs, 13 RBIs. 2 for 3 in the game with a solo home run.
SEC knocked off National City, North Carolina. They were 10th. Ole Miss, SEC, took care of Southern Miss. Oregon State and Auburn still to come. Meantime, Stanford is trying to rally against UConn. They lost game 1. They are winning game 2, 8-2.
J.D. Davis with a bad at bat, strikes out.
Tapera sends him down as he's into the game and picks up a strikeout.
Yeah, he got a little too confident, Ken. I think that's what happened there. But you know what? They didn't throw him another fastball and after that at bat. That home run.
The evening he's had early on really choked up the second at bat. Being able to get ahead with the shadows, just grinds those at bats. And here, gets a nice hop. Velasquez couldn't handle it, and he beats it out 3 for 3 so far.
All right, Jeff is 3 for 3 on the day. See if he can get 4 hits on the day on his last at bat, hopefully.
Talking about the All-Star ballot being out there. You got to be there, right? Was it Buck who said there should be
I think that home run got into his head a little bit.
At the end of the year? Yes, he did. And he's right. It's even more important in today's game. We mentioned it last inning. Jeff McNeil's one of those guys. His baseball bag has a lot of different kinds of gloves in it because he plays so many different positions.
McNeil pops it up. Not going to get his 4th hit. Looks like it's going to be a can of corn and 2 outs. Yes, it is.
The science of shine. Lightning fast with ultra durable, super hydrophobic results. Mother's CMX line of car care products. The advanced science of shine.
All right, Tomas Nino coming up to the plate. Well, at the very least, the top of the order is going to be up in the 9th inning, no matter what happens in the 8th inning for the Mets.
Grounded out, then grounded into a double play, and then grounded out to first.
Well, Kendrick, we had a 6-game winning streak going into the West Coast trip. We had a 3-game winning streak in between this West Coast trip. Again, the Mets just got to win series. That's the only thing they can do. The Braves will never catch us if we win series.
One at bat to the other doesn't take it defensively. And again, that's part of the maturity process here at the major league level. Just being able to turn the page. And now that at bat is see what I did wrong in that last swing that there's a lot more conversation.
So was it a rat or a raccoon?
Lane, I'll be in Vegas. So, no, I won't be at the game. Come on, Tomas. And it's a bouncer to short. And it's an error from Vasquez. Nito gets on with his brilliant speed. So, again, put pressure on the defense. Nito was hustling out of the box. And Vasquez felt he had to rush it, and he made an error. And that's a 2-out error that turns over the lineup once again for the Mets.
It's not fundamentals or anything. The footwork is all there. He's going to get it. But look at his eyes. See where they go? They go straight towards the bag.
Vasquez, who's known for his glove, made an error there. Again, this can backfire. Nimmo at the plate. See if Nimmo can take advantage of the error here. Mets have took advantage of errors all year. Nimmo going after the first pitch. It's all about that Nito speed right there that made him cause that error. But you don't have to have speed to show hustle. And he hustled down the line, which made Vasquez try to rush the play. And that's why he's on base right now. All right, Nimmo, get it done here. Nimmo swinging at the first 2 pitches. Very interesting.
It's not all wine and roses just because you're the guy now.
Yeah, you know, when you think about Phil Nevin, too, is there a guy who's paid his dues more than him? Managed on the minor league level, coached everywhere, has had 12 different managerial interviews along the way. Finally gets a call one day out of the blue. Says, hey, you're the guy.
Ooh, Nimmo just missed the ball down the line. That might have scored Nito with his speed. No, it wouldn't. But still.
Second base.
That would have at least been second and third.
Golden Spikes winner. Best player in college baseball, the number 1 overall pick. He made the point to us today, so take a look at his resume. He can relate to anybody because he was the star. He was an everyday player. He was an all-star. And then he was a seldom used guy.
Nimmo with the check swing, call the ball.
Orioles, right? He hit a blast the other day. Now he's going to have to manage against his son.
If you talk about the laid-back style of Joe Madden, Phil Nevins, the opposite of that. Fire and brimstone. Culture change. He's going to challenge guys, challenge those players in there. You're going to lose that laid-back atmosphere they've had around here.
Once again, guys, bottom of the 8th. Excuse me, top of the 8th. Mets lead 3-1. Don't forget to please hit on that like button for the end of the game. Let's get the stream out to more people. 224 in the stream right now. I really appreciate you guys hanging in there on this Sunday night.
Like we got stuck with you.
Nimmo, 2-2 count. Love it. Nimmo always going to give you a good at bat.
Jeter's name pops up so often, especially when you talk to the players. Velasquez, who's just unique in that he was born in the Bronx, would go to Yankee games all the time, and that is his guy. And there are so many players around here who Jeter was their guy. Whether you're wearing number 2, my truck's going to have a lot of those too.
Nimmo gets it a full count. What else is new? 0-2 and got the count full. So, again, a double in the gap will score Nito. Nito will be running on the pitch. Or 3-2, 2 outs. He will be running on the pitch.
60-something years old now. At times you realize I'm watching something that we may never see again. And then you realize I'm also managing against him, so I got to kind of refocus here. There's an appreciation for the talent level. Three and two, runner goes.
Nimmo fouled it off.
Did you collect cards when you were growing up? Were you a baseball card guy?
Well, I'm not surprised, Jonathan. I mean, it's obvious.
Radio guy, listening to Royals games.
I mean, thank God they know that.
Denny Matthews and Fred White, legendary.
All right, so again, Nito's going on the pitch, 3-2, 2 outs. Nimmo sticking out, 0-2, got it to 3-2. See if he can do damage here.
Transistor radio, there are so many people out listening who don't even know what does that mean. Nimmo.
Ground ball. And it's out of the inning. So Nimmo going to get it done here. 3-1 Mets going to the bottom of the 8th. Velasquez, Marsh, and Trout. 9-1-2. For it looks like Drew Smith coming into the bottom of the 8th. So this is going to be probably the inning that could decide the game here. And I wouldn't be surprised if somebody gets on. Ohtani might be pinch hitting in his spot at some point. So we'll see if the Mets can hold them to just the 1 run and continue the dominant pitching that they had so far. Well, Jonathan, you know what? The Mets, the Phillies, the Braves need bullpen help. The only thing is, what's it going to cost us to get that? So we're going to the bottom of the 8, guys. Mets lead 3-1. So far, 6 solid innings from Taijuan Walker. We got 1 solid inning in the 7 from Lugo. I'm assuming, not that ESPN showed the bullpen yet again. Drew Smith would be coming into the game in the 8th. I think you'll have a lefty ready just in case they decide to bring up Ohtani in the spot here. But, again, no bullpen from ESPN, so you can't tell who's pitching. Well, Jonathan, I would think it would be a better game on Friday. So, once again, guys, we're going to the bottom of the 8th. Almost done. So it's actually a quick game so far. It's not even 3 hours yet. It will be over 3 hours, but considering the way it started, it was pretty quick. So, let's get that like button. If you haven't hit it as of yet, I think we were at 120 likes. So we're reaching that 150 mark yet again, which you guys have done a great job of hitting that 150 mark. We're 30 likes away. I think we'll get it. So here we go, guys. Bottom of the 8th. 9-1-2. What you don't want here is to try to put anybody on with Mike Trout coming up. So see if whoever is pitching the 8th, that they can get it done here. Still waiting for the commercial. They're showing the Stanley Cup review commercial because, you know, the Avalanche and the Lightning and going to the Cup Finals. Just waiting. Do. All right, here we go, guys. So it looks like Seth Lugo's still on the mound for the 8th. I'm not sure if I like that, but we'll see what he does here.
Wednesday evening, Game 1, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Deep team. And this should be a terrific series. Start home of the Avalanche.
All right, Lugo is in the game.
You get to raise arguably the
Going for the second inning.
that is presented to a champion.
So they're pinching in Luis
Renifo
for Velasquez.
I wonder if perhaps Shohei Ohtani makes an appearance in this game if the situation presents itself.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the second inning with Lugo either.
Right here, though, for the Angels and the
But I think they have somebody. Well, I can't tell you, but I think they have somebody up in the bullpen just in case. I'm not sure why when you use Drew Smith in a situation, but we'll see.
When Diaz is swarming, Raisel Iglesias swarming in the Angels' pen. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
A little nervous about that. Oh, look, they showed the. All right, so Diaz is warming up right now. So is it possible Diaz can come in the 8th inning and throw like a 4 or 5 out save? Interesting.
Anytime that guy's got a bat in his hand.
Oh, curveball just outside. That was a nasty pitch.
It's been a steady diet of curveballs for Renifo, who's been sitting on the bench the entire evening. Lugo was one of the elite curveballs in the game.
He's thrown 4 of them in a row. Another one, no, that one sails high. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
That was nice.
You know, Lugo's also made some adjustments. He's kind of on what we see a lot of major league pitchers doing, shortening up.
It's been a lot this year, Jonathan.
Similar to Lucas Giolito, kind of like that movement a couple of years back.
Again, you gotta pitch to these guys. You can't walk these guys in front of Trout. It's dangerous.
That puts him right at the top or near the top.
The big at bat has been reduced to a big pitch.
Ground ball.
In the shift.
1 out.
They get
Okay.
the first out of the 8th.
Good start.
USAA Insurance with coverage options made to help active military and veterans and their eligible family members protect what they've worked hard for. Huge Angels helmet outside of the stadium. Outside word of red.
What a time for it to make an appearance.
All right, top of the order. Marsh is up. He's 2 for 3 on the day.
Really big back in 2002 when they were winning a World Series against the Giants. Red ball misses here from Lugo.
This is a key at bat here. Don't want nobody up with Trout on. Trout on deck.
Have Mike Trout on deck. Would be the time run to get a base run.
2-0. Mike Scioscia, 19 years, then Brad Ausmus for a year, Joe Madden, 2+, and now Phil Nevin. No Angel general managers lasted longer than 6 years since 2007. Looking for stability. Right, looking for a comeback. 3-0.
3-0. Oh boy.
Take 2. And the reason I say that is because of the man on deck and the score.
No call 4, and Trout.
4 pitch walk.
Look up to the plate. And Buck Showalter has seen.
They're bringing in Edwin Diaz for a 5-out save. How about that?
To have Edwin Diaz trying to pick
Wow.
up a 5
Well,
save.
this is different. Wow. Well, First time this year, Diaz is going to go for a 5-out save.
We'll get the thoughts of David Cohen and
Very
Perez
interesting.
on the pitching change here.
You know, put it in Diaz with a runner on.
Right after this.
Very interesting.
Why is it your grocery
Very
order
interesting.
arrives the second you remember everything you forgot to order? Like, without fail.
Who drank all the milk?
Fresh groceries and more. Unlimited free delivery and more plus.
Well, I don't understand the fact that you use Lugo for what?
Everyone on social media is trying.
Yeah, Ken, exactly. Like, I don't know if he was trying to get Lugo through the 8th inning, but, like, you might as well just throw him in the 8th inning.
So get all state.
It's crazy to
You
me.
said that you would shave your eyebrow off for a hashtag contest.
It always seems, it just doesn't make no sense.
What would you do for a Klondike?
So, waiting for Edwin Diaz to come in for the 5-out save. I'm not sure what. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Really don't get it. I mean, you can't throw a 4-pitch walk there.
3 times the electrolytes.
You can't throw a 4-pitch walk there. Right when Trout's on deck. It's just no.
Your team is on a streak. A losing one.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. An Indeed resume gets right to work for you, so you can find that better fit fast.
Think of the time things didn't go as you planned.
How much time do we have?
Mr. Elvis Presley. Get a haircut, buttercup.
I watched that skinny boy transform into a superhero.
All right, so waiting for the commercial to finish up. Edwin Diaz is coming in for a possible 5-out save. I'm not sure why you wouldn't start the inning with him. He's better that way. You know, putting him with a guy on first, we'll see. All right, so Mike Trout coming up, tying run at the plate. Diaz trying for the 5-out save.
Last night, this was Trout against Ricky Carrasco. He took him out to left. Mike Trout 2 home runs in the game last night, also had a double. Now he gets a chance against Diaz to tie it.
All right, here we go, guys.
For the Angels with that cowboy hat on.
Oh, you want high leverage? This is high leverage right here. This is what Buck Showalter's doing right now. Bringing in his closer.
First pitch, quartered in there, strike 1, 91 mile an hour. That 8th inning game against the Dodgers, he then came out in the 9th, and Lugo came in and blew it. But he faced the heart of the order, Betts Freeman, that night. 0-1 to Trout.
Oof. Blew that fastball by him.
91-100.
All right.
And this is Edwin
2 nice
Diaz now
pitches.
to finish this game. I do not see anyone coming in after him. This would be then the first time potentially that he will be throwing more than 1 inning this year.
Try that outside corner. Try to make him swing at it. Not a bad pitch.
A couple of things. There's an off day tomorrow for the Mets as they travel back to the East Coast. And it's because who's in the batter's box. This is the ball game for the Mets right here.
Yeah. What a strikeout. Now that's some pitching by Diaz right there.
Diaz and a huge punch out of Mike Trout.
Oh boy. That was some pitching right there.
Exactly what happened right there.
Kept it a little over the belt high. 2 outs. Again, I don't like ESPN saying, "Oh, this is the ball game right here for this at bat." You still got Rendon that you have to worry about as well, who can clearly hit one over the wall. He's been a Met killer his whole career when he was with the Nationals. Got to be careful here. Not out of it yet. Oof, nasty slider he swung at.
0 for 4 in his career against Edwin Diaz.
Again, Rendon always scares me.
Has been money for Diaz this year. Closing batters just hitting 140 off of that.
Come on.
Everett comes in with 11 saves. Good for 5th in the league. 9th in baseball.
Oh, where was that pitch?
Did not missed by a bunch. Rendell thought about it, but it's 1-1.
Oh, if you see it on game day, that's on the top of the strike zone. Should have been a strike.
For all the other parts of the Mets season that's gone right, this is one we haven't touched on too much. He seems to be back to that dominant fashion.
That's a
Come
huge
on,
deal
everyone,
for the
let's go.
Mets because they have big dreams this year, rightly so. An excellent baseball team. They have a couple of aces that are on their way back. So when you do get leads, and those guys do pitch well, this guy's the final answer.
Strikes out Trout. Next one, that's
come on.
Rendell. It's 3 balls and a strike.
Here we go.
Come on, Edwin.
Could be 100, and Anthony Rendon's to be ready for it.
Nice pitch. Keep that ball right up there.
No chance.
Nothing belt high or low, but belt or lower. Got to go
Back up there.
around letter high here.
He likes the slider so much, he throws the slider 55% of the time. You can see the release point on that four-seam fastball that he gets underneath and kind of pushes it up. I'm guessing slider.
3-2. He misses inside.
I don't like that slider. Should have thrown a fastball there.
That's great.
Now the go-ahead run will come to the plate. It's Jared Walsh. He struck
Yeah,
out
gotta be
twice,
careful here,
single
too.
in the first.
You know, the bad thing about putting him in the 8th inning here is that he already got 10 pitches. You know, he gets out of this with like 14, 15 pitches. He's coming out for the 9th. So he can easily throw 30 pitches, 35 pitches in this game.
It's just emotions on the mound, just being too quick, slowing the game back down. It's a challenge for every pitcher.
Still got to be careful here. Walsh is dangerous.
Matt Duffy's on deck. No Shohei Ohtani sighting yet. Ohtani in his career against Diaz.
Throw that out the window.
I would.
Still put him up there.
First pitch to Walsh. This
Oh,
is
boy.
Bagley. Diaz against lefties. They're hitting 132 on the season against him. He struck out 6 walks. So you always hear about good timeouts. Walk around the mound for Diaz.
Yeah, I was wondering maybe if Lindor would come in and talk to him a bit or somebody.
Trying to get out of the 8th inning. Rare appearance for Edwin Diaz in the 8th. Walsh has fouled.
He was on that pitch.
He's got to stay away from there. Down there with that velo, Walsh.
Got to keep that fastball up. Don't want to throw that low fastball to a left-handed hitter.
See how pumped up he is on the mound. That's why the increased velocity is there, 100 miles an hour on several fastballs.
Jared Walsh hit for the cycle last night. And he pulls that one foul.
All right, he was out in front of that slider. 1-2. His sliders have not been good this at bat. These last 2 at bats.
Stands very quickly.
And so far,
I think he's got to go to that fastball up and in.
It's all high stress pitches. See how that impacts him in the next inning.
Got to go up and in the fastball here. Don't miss low.
Get out of this.
1-2. Just
Oh, where was that pitch? Another
to catch the top of the K zone.
That's another strike that was missed by the umpire.
Nito setting up away. He's got to reach up and in. You can see the movement on the glove. Hard to hit that ball that way.
I do not flinch if you're the umpire there.
2-2, 2 outs.
Yes. All right, Edwin.
102 miles an hour.
Thank God he went back to his fastball. His slider wasn't working. You throw that slider, it was speeding up Walsh's bat. You throw that fastball, you had no chance. So, going to the top of the 9th. Mets still lead 3-1. Nice pitching by Edwin Diaz. Went back to his fastball, and that's a good call by Nito as well. Give credit to Nito. He saw that the slider was hanging a little bit. Walsh's Walsh's bat was fast, kept it fast with that slider. He was not going to catch up to that fastball. So good pitching, good call by Nito to get Diaz to throw them fastballs again. So we're going to the top of the ninth. Mets lead 3-1. It's going to be very interesting. He threw 20 pitches in that inning. I believe it was 20 pitches. Let's see. Excuse me. I'm a liar. He threw 15 pitches that inning, so he will be ready to pitch the ninth. But, that's another high-stress inning. But you got past the hard part of the lineup, but that doesn't mean nothing. But it's a good start. So let's see if the Mets can get one more run at least. The Mets will have up Marte, Lindor, and Alonso. So the big part of their lineup is coming up. Yeah, the umpire did miss 2 calls there. That fastball on the inside corner was a strike. I know it didn't look good because yet Nito had to come across the plate. So you usually don't get that call, but, the pitch is on the inside corner high. So, but Diaz got out of it. See, this is why I don't know if it was Diaz making that call. I doubt it. I think Nito was calling the game right there. Nito realized that Diaz did not have his slider in at bat and was like, all right, let's not speed up Walsh's bat with that slider. Let's throw the fastballs. He's not catching up to it, and clearly he didn't. I would like to get another run here. Insurance again. Marte, Lindor, Alonso. You got the big boys up in the top of the ninth, so good chance for us to get another insurance run here, maybe 2. Give us a little bit more of a cushion for Diaz to come out in the ninth. So just waiting for the commercial to end. Once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. I see where we're at with the likes. The game's almost over. We are 3.5 hours into this live stream. Got 124 likes. Let's get that to 130, 140, 150. So Diaz showing the replay of the fastball that Walsh cannot catch up to. Top of the ninth, Marte leading off.
Top of the mound, screaming, yelling, and channeling all of that.
Let's go.
Energy and determination as he headed back to the dugout. Keeping the Mets up by
Marte hits a ball right to the left fielder, 1 out. That was a hard hit ball. Can't do nothing about that.
Take a look around the Angels outfield and infield.
The Angels have Iglesias, their closer, in to try to keep this at 2 runs.
Center field, and Wade has moved from center field to shortstop. Take a look at the numbers for Iglesias. So you just got Trout. You throw 102. Obviously, the offense will try to put runs on, but if not, is there any concern about a letdown because of what you just experienced? How do you get back up when you don't have to worry about Trout?
All right, Frankie, let's go.
That was, you said that was
no Daniel Jankowski yet, but he's got a couple of weeks because he'll be out a little bit.
Information in that dugout. Maybe it was Seth Lugo or something he saw he didn't like. But this is the game he wanted to have in this road trip. Get an off day tomorrow. Mike Trout in the batter's box. Talk about high leverage, modern usage of bullpens. There was a time when Buck Showalter would have left his closer down there in a tie game. Being Zach Britton with the Orioles.
Yeah, Toronto.
Buck Showalter has evolved.
Well, it's also about the usage, not only with the day off, but 2 days ago he came out and pitched 10 pitches and had not pitched in 5 days. So he's well rested. He's hoping now emotionally he can stay in one piece and still be able to throw strikes. A lot of high emotion, high leverage in that situation. That's something that Buck doesn't know, and they're hoping that Edwin, because it's the first time he's doing it this year, can be able to land it.
Lindor takes a strike on the inside corner, 2-2.
It doesn't work, it doesn't work. I'm not going to get caught short. I'm going to get caught with my best option out there.
Absolutely.
which has happened before.
Lindor strikes out.
96 to Iglesias, and they're at 2 down. Tune up this summer at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic caps, t-shirts, collectibles, and more. Outfit the whole family with your favorite teams here at MLBshop.com.
All right, Pete Alonso with nobody on. Could he get a bomb here to get that extra insurance run? We'll see.
MLB on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. YouTube as well.
I think it's his third strikeout tonight.
22. single on an RBI from Alonso. One of the slowest balls off the bat he's had this year. I think it was 77 miles an hour, a spinner that Matt Duffy fielded. Then he threw it home a little wide that allowed Alonso to go to second and picked up a single and an RBI on an infield hit.
Well, Jankowski's going to be out for another couple of weeks.
I agree.
So don't expect him back anytime soon, probably in July.
We're trying to win it, but we're also trying to learn. And we're putting him in a situation we very well may need to put him in again. Is he going to be able to handle it? How's he going to handle the next inning, the ninth inning? Because that was the game. Can he get right back up and do it again when maybe the adrenaline isn't there?
A couple Sundays ago, he was reluctant to bring in Edwin Diaz against Nick Castellanos, and he left Ottavino. And Castellanos made him pay for it.
Baseball does provide those moments. So don't you get 100?
Yeah, Neil Committee, I don't think so. Because you know what? He came back in the Dodgers series after that one game and played well. So I don't think it's the finger. I just think he's struggling. That's all.
The most important thing for major league managers is how you manage your bullpen. Less decisions with extra players. There's not many on the bench.
Yes! Alonso, let's hit a home run. Yeah! Big home run. That's the insurance run we needed. There we go. We needed that right there, guys. Woo-hoo. Love it. 3-run lead now. That was a shot. Mets fans with the P. 19 home runs on the year.
Alonso did just that. What's the location on this pitch?
Turned on that fastball. Oof.
He went and got it.
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
Polar Bear Pete, baby.
Both hands on the bat. So strong.
Let's go Mets chants coming from the Mets fans in the stands. Oh, yeah.
Trying to win his third home run derby. But boy, what a year for Pete Alonso. Adds to the team lead in homers with his 18th. Couple of RBIs tonight, now 57.
And Canna hits one to the gap. That's going to be a double. All right. Little two-out rally going on. I'll take it. Oh, yeah.
And validating perhaps the reason you bring Diaz in.
Beautiful.
Exactly.
Now, if the Mets get another run here, it's not a safe situation anymore. Would you leave Diaz in? That's something to talk about.
12.5 miles per hour, 21-degree launch angle, 414 feet distance. That's a home run in any ballpark. Major League Baseball.
Let's go. Let's go, Eddie.
My math teacher, Mrs. Morales, would be really happy. I'm throwing all those numbers out there.
We're on it. Slide rule. Slide rule out.
The Advocates. 4 extra base hits for the Mets tonight. Alonso with another very productive night.
39th home run. 110 plus mile an hour exit velocity.
Pete got those MVP numbers right now. I mean, the only challenge I think he has is Mookie Betts, honestly.
Thank you, Sarah Lanes.
Escobar right at the shortstop, and the inning is over. So the Mets get the insurance run they needed from Pete Alonso with a 2-out home run bomb to left field. Diaz is coming back for the ninth with a 3-run lead. Can Diaz save his first game this year pitching more than one inning? We will see. No, it's not Joe Buck. It's ESPN. It's Ravish, Eduardo Perez, and somebody else. I forgot what the other guy is. And David Cohn. But we are waiting for the bottom of the ninth to come. The Mets got the extra insurance run from Alonso. 3-1. 4-1 Mets, 3-run lead. Can the Mets do it? Can Diaz do it? Again, this is a test for Diaz here. Getting all that energy up for the 8th. Can he bring that energy back up for the 9th? Again, this is not only a test just to win this ball game. It's an important game for us to go 5-5 on the road trip. But it's an important to see Diaz do this because we might need this later in the season when we need him in a big game. Hey, Diaz did it against the Angels. Can you bring him in for 2 innings here against the Braves in September or something like that? So, but Diaz is coming back out. So again, we'll see if Diaz can do it. So far in his Mets career, he has not been able to do it. Ruben, I agree. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Don't worry. I will be doing a few Mets Talk Live for in Vegas, so maybe we'll get a nice view for you guys. So just waiting for the commercial to end so we can get this game over with. Again, the game just about 3 hours now. Always got to believe, guys. Always got to believe. So once again, guys, most likely I might be going live tomorrow. Not tomorrow. I'm sorry. Yeah, maybe I will. I'll go to a Mets Talk Live at 5 o'clock tomorrow, and then Tuesday I'll do the live game for the first game of the series against the Brewers. Yeah, I still never felt comfortable, Ken, with him. He's a different pitcher this year, in my opinion. But let's see if Diaz can close it out and get the Mets a series win and the 500 West Coast trip that we all want. Here we go, guys.
Marlins first game of the 3-game set, ESPN Plus, and that's the Sox, Chicago, and Houston Sunday 7 Eastern time.
What you don't want Diaz to do here is walk anybody.
Baseball tonight, Sunday night countdown, 6 Eastern, 5 Central.
Thank you, Nomad.
And we'll be in Houston for Sunday.
All right, now he's not giving Diaz the close pitches here.
Citrus Little League are hoping that he can be the rally monkey tonight. And that tack on one by Alonso.
Gotta attack here. Oh, where was that pitch? They called the ball on that pitch.
It's now 3-0 instead of being 2-1.
Wow.
Tomas Nido taking a breather there, gets up just to pause for a second.
Basically the same pitch. You called the strike. My God.
Diaz only once this year has thrown more than 23 pitches.
Baseball, if I think I appreciate it, buddy.
Cardinals, he ended up throwing 35. There's the 20th. That's called.
And he calls that a strike. I don't know what the hell's going on anymore. I don't know what's a strike or a ball anymore, guys. Can't tell you.
I missed it now. Make sure I don't miss it again. 3-2.
All right, 3-2. Throw a fastball right down the middle. Fastball right down the middle. Let's go. Strike 3. Yes. On a slider. Well, umpire made up for those other terrible calls. 1 out. Even Buck Showalter was laughing.
Again, a backup slider. Those are the tough ones as a hitter. You see it, you freeze, you get on your heels. Like, no, it's going to be outside, and then it just gets the corner.
Hard to get a call on those style of pitches as well.
All right, strike 1.
Edwin Diaz being pretty efficient right now with a slider to get ahead 0-1.
Hey, I bet the Mets to be the National League champions, and I also bet on the Jets because I'm an idiot. I actually have them going to the AFC Championship. Just it's a good odds, so you never know.
After it struck out, he had a conversation with Pete Alonso who was coming up to the plate. This guy just struck out. This is why a lot of people believe that this team will go deep because of the leadership and the unity that they have. And then all of a sudden,
all right, strike 2. And strikes him out. 2 outs.
Same thing that Edwin Diaz just did.
Looking good. Make Lagares look stupid. 2 outs.
4 for Edwin Diaz. How high will Pete Alonso climb on this list? Lucas Duda next to the crosshairs, and then it's Conforto and Beltran Dave Kingman, Hojo with 192. Piazza right. Great Darryl Strawberry on top.
The key with Pete Alonso is the time frame that he jumped up on that list. Historical nature, one of the fastest ever to the 100 home run mark in his career.
53 as a rookie.
Yes, I mean, he's talking about all the guys he's on that list took a lot more years to get there.
Straight two. All right.
Summer in New York, though, isn't it? Judge doing what he's
Let's get this done. Let's get the hell out of the West Coast.
Alonso reminding everybody, I'm here too.
Yes, good for both fan bases too.
0-2 as the Mets try to close out this road trip. Before they do that, all one.
The biggest question mark is being answered right now from Buck Showalter. Can Edward Diaz go out there and come in the eighth in a high leverage situation and still be able to start the ninth and finish it cleanly? That's one strike away.
A 1-2.
Yeah, put it in the books. Yes. Well, question was answered. Diaz did the 5-out save, first of the 2022 season. Mets leave the West Coast 5-5. Can't ask for anything better than that. I think that's exactly what you asked for as a Mets fan. Still with a 5.5 game lead. Again, the Mets take care of business. Nobody is catching them. So, Mets come home. Got a day off tomorrow. Play the Brewers, play the Marlins. This next week at home. Confident the Mets are going to do well at home. They played well all season at home. I'm the biggest Diaz fan ever. I don't know what you're talking about, Ken. So, there we go, guys. The Mets, all the adversity, all the talk around the league. Oh, here come the Braves. The Mets are falling apart. The Mets never fell apart in this West Coast trip. They played well. They had a couple of bad games. The Mets took care of business. They won another series. They won one series, they split one series, and they lost one series. Can't have anything better than that. I mean, yeah, you would want to go 6-4, 7-4. I'd take the 5-5. Let's go home, kick some ass, and take back more of those games in that division back, and we'll be ready to go. So, once again, guys, Mets won 4-1. Mets took the series against the Angels. Here we are, guys. 100 games to go on the dot. It's going to be a couple. Going to head to the dog days of summer with you guys, and we'll have a good night. So once again, guys, Mets win 4-1. Coming back home after a long road trip, 5-5. Everybody, have a good night. Let's go Mets. See you next time.